welcome your host, Richard Herring.
Thank you very much. Hello, and welcome to the second series of That Was Then, This Is Now, or as all the cool kids are calling it, Twatuttin'. I love it. It's the show that looks at what happened this week in history and satirises it from the safe distance of the present day. We're literally mocking the dead over the unbridgeable chasm of time. Benito Mussolini thought you were pretty hard, didn't you? But you're a big, puffed-up, barrel-chested baldy who everyone thought was ridiculous. What are you going to do about it? Nothing, deado. Michelangelo, pretty sure you were something special, huh? But most people nowadays just know you as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Not even the most famous one. Leonardo got that covered. He had a code. Should have thought of that. Too late, skeleton face. Stupid people of the 13th century. Didn't you even have dental floss? We do. We've got loads of it, and we hardly ever use it. How does that make you feel? All that dental floss sitting untouched and unwanted in bathroom cupboards. You've got none. Pretty bad, I expect. Ha! You historical nincompoops. We're miles better than you. That, in essence, is the point of this show. It's half an hour of mean-spirited barracking of people who can't defend themselves, without even the self-awareness to realise that one day we too will be dead and in the past, and the people of the future will listen back to this show and laugh at us. Nice to know someone will. But don't worry, the few Jonathan Ross listeners who haven't already turned off. It's not just me on this show talking about dental floss. I know that was weird. Oh no, we've got a cool history rock and roll band. Please welcome Christian Riley and the Borgias.
That was then, this is now. The dead will have their vengeance on us in hell.
Damn, I hadn't thought of that. I take it back, Mussolini. I think you were good.
Richard Herring, he's the comedian who thinks the fascist dictator Mussolini was good.
No, you're taking that out of context to make me look bad. I didn't, you know, some of what he did was good. Anyway, Christ, it's great to have you back on the show.
Well, it's nice to be here, but I don't understand, Rich. I thought at the end of last series, you and the rest of the cast were burned to death in an ill-advised indoors bonfire night celebration.
Yeah, well, we escaped.
How?
There's quite a story behind that, I can tell you.
I'd be interested to hear that story.
Well, there just isn't time.
Just the highlights would be fine.
For goodness sake, Christian, it happened 2 years ago. It's in the past. Get with it, Daddy-o, you're living in the past. Who cares about what happened in the past?
Isn't that kind of the whole point of the show?
I used to like you.
It's not because after several run-ins with the Radio 2 censor, you had assumed that there'd be no second series, and so you thought you'd go out in a blaze of glory, destroying everything in a two-fingered gesture of defiance, and now you're forced to furiously backpedal as you discover they wanted your return after all.
No. We got out of a window.
That was then, this is now. Back on your radio after a 2-year hiatus. And frankly, nobody is more surprised than us.
So look at some of the things that happened this week in history. August the 29th, 2005. You may remember Hurricane Katrina reaches the US coast, causing death and destruction in and around an ill-prepared New Orleans. August the 29th, 2006 is declared American Hurricane Awareness Day. I'd say they were a year late on that one. Maybe if they'd made August the 28th, 2005 Hurricane Awareness Day, then things wouldn't have turned out quite so badly. I'm pretty sure the people of New Orleans are already fairly hurricane aware by now. Having a Hurricane Awareness Day is a bit like rubbing it in their faces. Are you aware of hurricanes? Yes, a little bit too aware now, thanks. I live in this bit of water. Now it's time to welcome someone without whom this show would be slightly different. Possibly a little bit better. Give a warm welcome to TV's Emma Kennedy.
Hello, Richard. It's quite nice to be here.
So, last series you fronted the unpopular births, deaths and marriages section of the show. Is there more of that in the pipeline?
No, Richard. I have moved on. Each week, I'll be looking at something that happened for the first time this week in history in a new segment that I like to call TV's Emma Kennedy's Firsts for Knowledge.
TV's Emma Kennedy's First for Knowledge.
Is that meant to be a pun?
Yes, it is a pun. A good pun, implying that I, TV's Emma Kennedy, commemorate things that were a first for knowledge, whilst at the same time, I, TV's Emma Kennedy, thirst for knowledge.
It doesn't quite work, though, does it? Because it's Emma Kennedy's firsts for knowledge. The possessive apostrophe spoils the first.
Yeah, don't start with this again, Herring. I'm only doing this show as a favour to you because you helped me on my way up, so now I'm helping you on your way down. I don't need this. I'm on TV. You may have seen me on Channel 5 Suburban Shootout.
No one has.
A show so popular that it's actually being shown in Iceland, yes. Look impressed, because it is impressive.
You mawkish harridan.
I'm not mawkish! So, this week on TV's Emma Kennedy's Firsts for Knowledge, the first ever marathon. On September the 2nd, 490 BC, Phidippides accidentally invented the mammoth endurance race when he ran 26 miles from the Battle of Marathon to Athens without even stopping to do a toilet in full view of everyone on the way. On arrival, he immediately dropped dead.
Yeah, it's an incredible feat. He not only ran the first marathon, he set a personal best and set the world record for the event.
Imagine the reception he must have got.
I have some news. I have run 26 miles to tell you.
What is it?
We won. We, the Greeks, won the Battle of Marathon.
Oh, right, good. Nice.
Oh gosh. Oh, the exertion. I think I'm going to die.
Don't worry, Phidippides. We will ensure your courageous act is never forgotten. We will turn your labour into a sporting event, and in honour of you, Phidippides, we will call it the Marathon.
Sorry, hold on. You'll call it what now?
Yes, the marathon, after the battle you ran from.
Well, yeah, that's all very well, but it wasn't the Battle of Marathon who ran all the way without stopping and then died, was it? It was me, Phidippides, so maybe you should call the race the Phidippides.
Nah, it's a bit of a stupid name. Marathon's better.
So that's all you're going to do to commemorate this sacrifice?
No, don't be silly. We'll name a chocolate bar after the battle as well.
For a bit.
And then we'll call it something else.
Phidippides?
No.
No, definitely not Phidippides.
Why do you have to keep bringing this all back to you?
So I ran the race for nothing? I've given my life for no reason?
No, mate, don't be stupid. Every year from now on, we'll commemorate your life by holding a marathon race.
With the world's finest and strongest athletes taking part.
Yeah, definitely them, plus a load of ordinary people who've never really done athletics in their life, are dressed up as, like, rhinoceroses and deep-sea divers and fairies.
No, just the top athletes who all die at the end because it's so hard, and it's called the Phidippides Challenge.
Well, why should it be named after you?
Because I did it first. I ran all this way to tell you the news.
Well, no one asked you to, mate.
Yeah, why did you feel the need to run? Why didn't you just ride here on a horse? Like the bloke who brought us news of the victory 2 hours ago did.
Who did that?
Him over there. What's your name, mate?
Snickers. Ian Snickers.
Thanks for that, Emma. A nice, funny skit about a man's death there. Yeah, thank you. Very tasteful, you mawkish virago.
I'm not mawkish!
You are the Duchess of Mork. You're the Mork spinster. Like York Minster. You know, there are certain historical events that make such an impact on us that we remember where we were and what we were doing when we heard the news. Mostly because we were generally watching the news on TV. But each week here on Twatutin, we're going to celebrate one of those moments in a section of the show I like to call Do You Remember Where You Were When X Happened? Where X is the event that we are remembering this week.
Do you remember where you were when X happened? Where X is the event that we're remembering this week.
back to the 27th of August 1987. I think we all remember where we were when we heard the news that Robert McLennan had replaced Dr. David Owen as leader of the SDP. So, let's see what memories of that amazing historical event our audience have. What about you, sir? What were you up to when you heard the news?
I think I was probably drunk at the time.
Well, is that just because you're drunk all the time? Is that so you could... Or do you know specifically? It was about 3 o'clock on the 27th of August 1987. Would you have been drunk?
Almost certainly, yeah.
How about you, sir? Do you remember where you were on the...
No, I'm afraid I don't, sorry.
Hands up, anyone who remembers where they were when they... That's quite a poor start to the Do You Remember Where You Were When X Happened, where X is the event that we're remembering this week feature. It's actually a bit embarrassing for me that we've all forgotten about that, because this week's special surprise guest is former leader of the SDP, Robert McLennan. Hi there, Robert. Sorry about this. I really thought it'd be one of those moments that everyone remembered.
Oh, don't worry, Rich. Fame is a coquettish whore. One day you're up there, your name's on everyone's lips, all the girls are after you, the next forgotten. Yeah, you must know what it's like, Rich. Apart from the girls bit, you know.
Don't turn on me, McLennan. It's not my fault no one remembers you.
Oh, I will be remembered, Herring. Believe you me, the name of Robert McLennan will echo down the corridors of history.
Yeah, it will, but it will be preceded by the words, who the hell was? Anyway, let's try and salvage something from this. I suppose you at least must remember what you were doing on the 27th of August 1987 when you heard the news that you were the new leader of the SDP.
No, it's not leaping to mind, I have to say.
Thank you, Robert McLennan. There will be another Do You Remember Where You Were When X Happened, where X is the event that we're remembering this week, next week. Well, that passed the time. In more sombre news, Princess Diana died this week in 1997. I think we all remember where we were when we heard that news. Damn, that would have been a much better one. I wish I'd thought of that before. I certainly remember where I was. I was driving a white Fiat through Paris. The roads were terrible that day. I was very nearly in an accident myself. But was Diana's crash an accident? Not according to our next guest. Please welcome back conspiracy theorist Brian O'Green.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Brian, I see you're wearing a black armband. Did the death of Princess Diana affect you that badly?
No, Richard, I am in mourning because the 1st September 1981 saw the death of Albert Speer, Hitler's favourite architect.
You know you can only come on this show if you agree not to talk about the Nazis. The death of Albert Speer is not something one should mourn.
Because he was remorseful about his part in the Nazi regime?
No, Brian, because he was a fascist and we don't mourn fascists.
You're the one who said Mussolini was good, didn't he, Christian?
Yes.
That comment has been taken out of context. I only said that to avoid him punishing me in hell. I think he was bad, unless he's listening. Do they get Radio 2 in hell?
I think it's on a constant loop.
Those poor souls. Anyway, what's your theory about the death of Princess Diana? Presumably some convoluted stream of consciousness involving the Priory of Sion, Shergar and Christopher Biggins as usual.
No, Richard. My conspiracy theory is simply this. Princess Diana of the Wales was whacked by MI6 under orders from none other than Prince Philip.
That's it?
Pure and simple.
I have heard this idea before, but it does kind of presuppose that Prince Philip has the power to make such an order. Hello, MI6, how can we help you?
Yes, hello there. I want you to assassinate Lady Diana.
I beg your pardon?
I said I want Lady Diana assassinated. Immediately. Maybe in a car crash or something.
Sorry, who is this?
It's me, Prince Philip. Now go about my evil bidding.
Hold on. Prince Philip? The one everyone thought was gay but who got married anyway?
No. Prince Philip, the husband of the Queen. I'm ordering you to kill Lady Diana.
Ooh, you're ordering me, are you? What, you, the husband of a woman who is essentially a figurehead with no political powers at all? You want us to commit murder for you?
Yes.
Hey, everyone, you won't believe this. That bloke who made the comment about turning slitty-eyed in China is telling us what to do.
That was funny, I have to admit. But no, you have to do what I say. I am the Duke of Edinburgh.
Ooh, the Duke of Edinburgh? Oh, scary. We better do what he says or we might not get our bronze award for camping.
How me, I can have you killed, you know.
Oh, yeah, mate? By who exactly?
By... Bah! You will rue the day you crossed me.
Sod off, Baldy. It isn't going to happen, O'Green. Prince Philip just doesn't have the power, as this, I think, will demonstrate.
Hello, Buckingham Palace servants' quarters.
Yeah, yes. My room is very messy. Send someone up immediately.
Sorry, who is this?
It's Prince Philip.
Prince what now?
Philip!
Oh, what, the first husband of Princess Anne?
No, Prince Philip, the husband of the Queen.
Oh, the bloke who told a 12-year-old boy who wanted to be an astronaut that he was too fat? You can't order me about.
Yes, I can. I'm Baron Greenwich.
What, from Danger Mouse? Actually, that's quite impressive.
No, Greenwich.
Tidy your own room up, Greco.
Bah!
Begone, O'Brien. This is naught but a conspiracy of dunces.
Perhaps, Richard, but if anything happens to me this week, then you know who to blame.
Yes, it will be me. I will have killed you. After all that, I feel like listening to some music, so let's hear from Christian Riley and the Borgias.
Thank you. And it has been a busy week for Princess Diana. This is the week she died and the week that she got divorced. Not in that order. So Monday was the 10th anniversary of the divorce, and I just want to cash in. I mean, heal the nation's pain.
Goodbye, royal couple. You couldn't live in a bubble. Like two people trapped in a submarine with a broken pressure seal. I know your hearts are bleeding, but one day you'll stop weeping. The way a freshly squeezed pimple will one day congeal. A royal marriage is like trying to write a really potent simile. People think it's easy, but they've never had a go. Our language is so rich, and your story's evocative, but I can't seem to write it down. You know, I imagine it's like trying to express your frustration in a row at Buckingham Palace, but knowing the crockery is too expensive to throw around. Yeah, your marriage was like trying to write for a lunchtime Radio 2 audience. It was never gonna be easy, and it's compounded by a slight age gap. Happy marriage is like getting away with a clumsy rewrite of a song that was written about Marilyn Monroe originally. For some reason it's easy for a rich gay man to do.
On the 27th of August 1910, Mother Teresa was born. Though, here's a fact I didn't know before, this is true. Her name wasn't Teresa at all. She was christened with the unlikely name of Agnes Gonska Bajonska.
No, it's pronounced Agnes Gonja Boyagiu, actually.
All right, Moira Stewart, because that's much less stupid, isn't it?
Say it right, or not at all.
I will say it how it is spelt. Agnes Gonka Bajonka. Don't put the X's in there if you don't want them said, Albania. Wikipedia will tell you she chose the name Teresa as a novice sister in Darjeeling, but it's time for someone to edit Wikipedia with the truth. Because here's what really happened.
That was then, this is now. What really happened?
To Catholics worldwide, Mother Teresa of Calcutta is known as Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And yet not only was she not born in India at all, her real name is quite different. It all started in the declining Ottoman Empire in 1910.
That's it, darling. One more push.
Oh, one more push, you!
I can see her legs. Everything's fine, don't worry. And her arms. She looks healthy and normal. And here's her head. Oh.
What is it? Is something wrong?
No, she's lovely. It's just her face. It's all wrinkled and leathery. Like some kind of goblin.
Now, let's see. Oh, my. I suppose all babies look a bit goblin-y when they're born, Doctor.
No, they don't. No. You have what we in the medical profession call a freakish wrinkled gonk baby. No one would blame you if you abandoned her on a hillside.
Oh, don't be horrid. She's our baby. To us, she's beautiful, isn't she, dear?
Well, the idea of beauty is so subjective. I mean, yes.
We'll call her Teresa. Mother Teresa.
We can't call her Mother Teresa, darling. She's a baby. You're the mother. It'll be confusing. She'll get teased at school.
We're calling her Mother Teresa of Calcutta.
But we live in Skopje.
Skopje.
I'll pronounce it how it's spelled.
I don't care. Her name is Mother Teresa of Calcutta, and that's final. I squeezed her out of my clacker, and I get to say what she's called.
You're emotional after giving birth to a human gonk, love. Let's call her Agnes Gonka Bajonka.
Agnes Gonja Boyagio.
Shut up, this is my show. We're pronouncing Agnes Gonka Bajonka. We're calling her that so she doesn't look stupid.
What? You don't think giving a gonk-like baby the middle name of Gonka might be a mistake? Let's call her Mother Teresa of Calcutta.
No! Never mention that name again.
Mother Teresa's mother, under threat from Mother Teresa's father, kept the fact that Mother Teresa was called Mother Teresa secret from little Mother Teresa, whose weird name and weird face provided fuel for schoolyard bullies.
Agnes Gonka Bajonka. Agnes Gonka Bajonka.
You look like a gonk, and gonk is your middle name. Effectively.
Oh, Father.
Let me tell you a story, my child, about an ugly duckling who grew up to be a beautiful swan. Once upon a time... Oh, actually, I've pretty much told you the story in the introduction.
So you're saying that it doesn't matter how you look on the outside, it's what's inside that matters.
No, I'm saying it does matter how you look on the outside, but with a bit of luck, when you get older, you'll stop being ugly and people will like you.
But her father was wrong. Agnes Gonka Bajonka never turned into a swan. She just turned more into a wrinkled gonk than ever.
Curse you, God, for giving me this gonk face and my stupid gonk name. I turn against you and all your work and will devote my life to evil.
So, Agnes Gonka Bajonka started doing evil works, such as kicking kittens, poisoning wells, and coveting her neighbour's ox.
Look at that ox. I wish I had an ox.
But on his deathbed, Mother Teresa's father revealed the truth.
You know, Agnes Gonka Bajonka, your mother never wanted you to be called Agnes Gonka Bajonka. She wanted you to be called Mother Teresa of Calcutta.
Even though I was a baby?
Yes.
Who was born in Skopje?
Skopje, yes.
She was right. Mother Teresa of Calcutta is a much better name for me. A name like that would draw attention away from my wrinkly gonk face and confuse people and make them see the real me. Having a name like that makes me want to go to India and help poor people and befriend doomed princesses. This is the best day of my life.
Oh, I die.
Yes, that is sad. But more importantly, I have learned it's not what you look like that's important. It's what you're called that counts.
And that's what really happened.
That was then, this is now. What really happened?
So, Lush, that's pretty much the end of the show. It's been pretty good, hasn't it, Christian?
Yeah, same old, same old.
Look, don't blame me. Blame the historical figures. I can only work with what I'm given.
Right, get me through, come on now!
What's going on down there? Security! Security!
Sorry, pal, members of the public are not allowed on stage.
I'm not a member of the public. I'm Prince Philip.
What, the one whose real dad is that bloke off I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here?
No, Prince Philip.
Patron of the WWF.
The World Wrestling Federation?
No, the World... Yes, the wrestling thing, yes. So, yes, you better get out of my way.
I can't compete with that. Sorry,
Yes.
Rich. Go on up, mate.
I'll get the Hulk
Nice
onto
one,
you.
security. Yeah,
Thank you, yes.
Hi there, Prince Philip. How can I help you?
How can you help me? Well, I've been listening to the show at home, and I can't tell you how offended I am by your insensitive jibes about me. I'm a bloody joke of the realm.
That's a bit rich, isn't it? You criticising anyone for insensitivity? You're the man who told a blind woman that they now have eating dogs for the anorexic.
It was one of my better ones, yes. No, but the things you said about me...
Look, pal, we were defending you using satire against the ridiculous notion that you might have ordered Princess Di's murder.
Ah, yes, ridiculous. Even so, I found your comment derogatory, and I demand an apology.
You, Prince Philip, are demanding that?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, or what?
You don't want to mess with me, Herring.
What are you going to do, rescind my World Wildlife Federation membership card?
Well, I'd like to, but really I'm just a figurehead.
Get out of it, Edinburgh.
You have just made yourself a very powerful enemy, my friend.
You are the second most powerful enemy I have, Edinburgh, after Robert McLennan, the ex-leader of the SDP.
Don't you know him? He's a lovely man. You know, I remember where I was when I heard the news about him becoming leader of the SDP.
I'm sorry, there simply isn't time. You should have been here earlier. The show is over. That's all from us this week. We'll be back next week when what I'm saying now will already be history. Spooky. Good afternoon.
That was then, this is now. It was performed and written by Richard Herring, Danny Robbins, Dan Tetzel and me, TV's Emma Kennedy. The musical bits were all by Christian Riley and the Borgias, Damien Caldwell, Martin Kane and Charlie Round Turner. And it was produced by Queen Liz Anstey the Great. It was a Celador production for BBC Radio Tower.
Welcome, Richard Herring!
Thank you. I deserve that, thank you. Hello and welcome to another episode of Twatuttin. If you had a time machine, which period of history would you choose to visit? Back to ancient Rome to see Nero fiddling as Rome burned, or would you leave Nero to fiddle in private? Back to 1939 to assassinate Hitler, and whilst you were there, perform a greater service by smothering the infant Ron Atkinson in his cot. Who's the bigger fascist? It's Hitler. Or would you be like Michael J. Fox and go back to 1955 so you could spy on your mum undressing and nearly get off it? A perverted misuse of time travel. Use your time machine like any normal bloke to capture Billy Piper, then keep her locked inside while you fiddle away to your heart's content. Then pretend you've regenerated into someone else so your mate can have a go. But in a way, that was then, this is now, is a kind of time machine. But quite a rubbish one. That can only travel back to things that happened this week in history. And that's using travel back to in the very loosest meaning of the words, where travel back to means do some quite weak comedy sketches about. But until someone invents a real time machine, this is the best we're going to get. So we'll just have to imagine spying on our teenage mothers undressing. And before you young kids listening start saying, yeah, you can try and make history seem cool by mentioning Doctor Who as much as you like, because Doctor Who is cool. And yeah, if there were Daleks and Cybermen and Billy Piper in history, then maybe we'd be interested. But there aren't, so we're not in it. Do I look bothered? Yeah, but no but. Well, let me just point out, we have a real rock and roll band on the show. It's Christian Riley and the Cato Street Conspirators.
That was then, this is now. Presented by a man who clearly wants to spy upon his own teenage mother undressing.
I don't.
You do?
Well, we all do a bit, don't we?
No.
Yeah, we do, don't we, fellas? If we're rock and roll, hey, fellas?
It really is. Spying on your mum undressing, that's tragic, mate.
I don't want to spy on her now. She's all old and wrinkly. But you know, when she was about 15... I mean, 17, I'm not a pervert.
You're wrong in the head, pal.
It's not a sexual thing. I only want to watch her undressing. I'm no Oedipus. He so loved his mother that he killed his dad and made love to her. Most mums prefer it if you just help round the house a bit. Flowers on Mother's Day.
That was then, this is now a field day for Freudians.
So let's have a look at some of the news from this week. The 7th of September was a big day for the Tudors. In 1533, it saw the birth of Queen Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen, the first monarch to accept corporate sponsorship. To be followed later by William of Orange and Pope Boniface of T-Mobile. But 15 years later, to the very day, the Tudors were in mourning when one of Elizabeth's many stepmothers, Catherine Parr, died. Parr was Henry's 6th wife, and for me the most admirable. To marry Henry, knowing his track record of wife murder, took some chutzpah. That must have been quite an embarrassing first date.
And my hobbies are making tapestries and playing real tennis, not imaginary tennis like some people. I like real, actual tennis. But look at me, chatting away. You haven't told me anything about you.
Well, there's not much to say.
What do you do?
I'm King of all England.
Oh, that's interesting. What does that involve?
Oh, you know, kingly duties, ruling over people, dissolving monasteries. Not literally, of course. I don't put monasteries in acid until they literally dissolve.
Oh, I love a man with a sense of humour.
Are you mocking me?
No. No, I thought it was an amusing pun based around the two meanings of dissolving.
Oh, good.
So, what else? Have you ever been married?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Really?
Well, 5 other times.
5 times?
Yeah, but it's not as bad as it sounds. 3 of them died.
Oh, no.
Jane giving birth to my boy Eddie.
Oh, you poor man. What happened to the others?
Yeah, but there was sort of a couple of accidents. One involving an axe and her neck.
Oh, how awful. And the other one?
Yeah, that also involved an axe and her neck. It's an amazing coincidence. I mean, what are the chances?
I'm not sure it's a good idea for us to keep seeing each other. It's not you. Well, actually it is. You and the axe neck thing.
No, look, there's kind of a pattern to this. It goes divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded. So the chances are you won't get beheaded. It would break the chain, because divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, beheaded. It just doesn't scan.
Yes, but if it follows the pattern, then I will die.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe something else will happen to you that rhymes with died. You could get fried.
Oh, my.
No, or something good. It could be divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, lied, like all the others, the cow, so I cut off her head.
Oh dear, is that the time? I think I should...
Yeah, all right. I've chopped off 2 of my wife's heads, so what? I've dared to do what most men only dream of. But I'm quite a nice bloke, really. Remember, I've only beheaded 2/5 of my wives. The laws of probability are on your side, and if your head remains unchopped off, you're likely to outlive me. You're 31, I'm 52, and I'm not a very well man. I'm extremely rich, you know, owning England like I do.
Really? Well, I do like older men.
Have you been married before?
Oh, only twice. I married Lord Borough when I was a teenager and he was in his 60s. Sadly, he died. Then I married Lord Latimer and then he died earlier this year. So, look, why don't you drink down that port I bought you? No, I don't want any. It's all for you. It's good for you.
Doesn't it give you gout?
No, it cures gout. But only if you drink a lot.
Of course, Catherine actually survived her axe-wielding husband and went on to marry a 4th time, becoming the most married Queen of England. Only 3 more and you can beat her, Camilla. Come on, you can do it.
This is now advising the royal family to commit adultery as if they needed any encouragement.
Now, therefore a new section of the show that I like to call What Would You Do?
What would you do? What would you do? What would you do?
Yes, and this week on What Would You Do? The Great Fire of London. The Great Fire of London broke out on the 5th of September 1666 in Pudding Lane. So we're asking, what would you do if you'd been there when the Great Fire of London broke out?
What would you do? What would you do? What would you do?
And there's a prize of £5 and a box of matches for anyone who gets the correct answer. Christian, what would be the first thing you would have done if you had been there?
I reckon I would call the fire brigade.
You idiot. They didn't even have the fire brigade. Cheg on, Christian, you am a twat. To them, the words London's burning simply meant London was burning. TV's Emma Kennedy, what would you do?
I don't know.
Think, woman, think!
Oh, I'd probably run away, perhaps stopping to gather up a tiny crying child.
Incorrect, and a typically sentimentally mawkish response from you. You mawkish harpy, you harpo-mawk.
I'm not mawkish!
Well, let's go into the audience and ask what they would do.
What would they
Right,
do?
so, what would you do if the Great Fire of London broke out, do you think?
Look for a river.
Look for a river? There's the Thames. It's quite nearby. Then what would you do when you found a river?
Stay in it.
What would you do if the Great Fire of London broke out?
Go and find my family.
Mawkish. Why aren't you with your family? What are you doing? What are you doing without your family? Away having some kind of affair, you make me sick. I don't think anyone's going to get it, so I'll have to tell you. The first thing you have to do if the Great Fire of London breaks out is to bury your cheese. Yeah, I know a lot of you were thinking that. It was on the tip of your tongue. But that is what the famous diarist Samuel Pepys truly immediately did. He buried his parmesan in his garden. That's the first thing that occurred to him.
Oh, look, Samuel. The Great Fire of London has broken out.
Yeah, so it has. Well, better bury my parmesan in the garden, then.
Yes, you had. We wouldn't want our parmesan getting all burned, would we?
Yeah.
Burying it in some mud would be the safest way to stop it catching on fire.
Yes, I'll get my spade.
Do you want to put anything else in the hole? Maybe some of our oil paintings or expensive crockery or money?
Don't be ridiculous. If we got all that stuff together, there wouldn't be time to save the parmesan. I must make haste, woman.
Maybe you'd like to save that diary you're always scribbling away at.
Put a diary in the ground? In the mud and dirt, it'll be completely ruined. Let it burn, I say. The cheese must be saved.
Yes, but first you want to go upstairs and wake our children and spirit them to safety.
There's no time, darling. We can have more children, but where will we get more cheese? Where? Bury it. Bury the cheese.
It's all right. The cheese is buried, and the fire is still some distance away. Shall we save some other stuff now?
No, woman, no. The cheese is safe now. In the mud. Let's keep it there always, from now on, so we don't have a scare like that again. Come on. Let's get to bed.
Alas, Pepys never says why the parmesan was so important to him or why he thought a hole in the ground would be the best place to keep it safe. Did he just really hate melty cheese? Or did the world's fourth favourite diarist after Jones, Mole and Frank, in that order, secretly like dirty, muddy cheese and realise he'd finally found a way of achieving his perverted, cheesy ends?
That was then, this is now. History in the marking.
The 3rd of September 1651 saw the end of the English Civil War when Cromwell defeated royalist troops at Worcester, and Cromwell himself died 7 years later to the very day. Oliver Cromwell was famous for 3 things. 3. Only 3. The first was chopping off a king's head. The second was the massacring of the Irish. They still bear a bit of a grudge about that. And the third was insisting that his portrait had warts on it.
My Lord Protector, your portrait is finished.
Aye, good. And you remembered what I said about my warts?
Yes.
Warts and all, that's what I said. Paint me warts and all. That's what I, Oliver Cromwell, Lord Protector of England, said and will be remembered for.
Not the Irish thing.
No, definitely not the Irish thing, no.
Right.
So, did you paint me, warts and all, to show that I'm not a vain man, but as God made me?
Yep, here we are, warts all in place.
Excellent.
I mean, I could put some more warts on, if you like. I mean, wart it up a bit, if it is the warts you're particularly hankering for.
No, the number of warts on the painting should tally exactly with the number of warts on my actual face. That is the sort of honesty and lack of vanity I wish to be remembered for, and not the unfortunate Irish thing.
Yes. Well, it's your portrait.
Oh, yes, I'm very pleased with it. Just one little thing.
What, perhaps a boil? Hairy mole?
No, it was, lower down than the face I was looking at.
Double chin?
No, further down, around the, downstairs.
Genital warts?
No. No! I'm a Puritan. I wouldn't even know what they are. No. I just want you to, make my packet look bigger.
Oliver Cromwell.
Oh, come on. I'm the Father of Parliament. Just a little bit extra on the little Lord Protector. No one would know.
That's not very honest and lacking in vanity, is it?
Oh, it is honest. It's normally bigger than this. It's just very cold in your studio.
It isn't. It's boiling.
Well, I'm nervous about what people might think just remembering me for being all warty.
Oh, you little liar.
Oh, look, just paint me with a massive wanger, or people will only remember me for the warts at the unfortunate Irish thing. Oh, you'd better do it. I've killed a bloomin' king, so one little artist isn't going to trouble me.
All right, I'll do it. Just one thing, Roundhead or Cavalier?
Time for your song, ladies and gentlemen. Please give it up for Christian Riley and the Cato Street Conspirators.
Thank you very much. Now, this week in history marks the end of the Roman Empire. After 1,229 years, 4 months and 14 days, there were 90 Roman emperors, and how will we remember them all, I hear you thinking? Well, I've made it very easy for you. There's a very easy song. Here we go. Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula and Claudius. Nero was no hero while Rome was on fire. Then there was Galba and Otho, Vitellius and his oppo, Vespasian who shared power in 69. Then there's Titus and Domitian who must have caused some friction because he was assassinated in 96. Then Nerva and Trajan and a brickie called Hadrian. Antoninus Pius and Marcus Aurelius. Bass. Lucius Verus ruled next to Marcus. Power-sharing Marcus had a zest for. He did it later with Commodus, whose self-defense was bogus as he discovered when strangled by a wrestler. Next in history, it's the Severan dynasty. Pertinax got the axe in 193. Didius, Septimius, Caracalla, Macrinus, and don't forget Geta in between. Diadumenian was put to death, and then here comes Elagabalus. But he was assassinated just like his replacement, Alexander Severus. Maximinus Thrax, Gordians 1 and 2, Papinius Maximus and Balbinus, who were both murdered by Praetorians, and then a third Gordian got replaced by Philip the Arab after he was killed too. Dictius, Aurelius, Eva Lucianus, Hostilian and Gallus circa 253, Aemilian, Gallienus, Valerian, Saturninus takes us up to the year 260. Posthumus Marius, Victorianus Tetricus ruled the Gallic Empire, while Claudius was Illyrian like Quintilius and Aurelian, when Tacitus took over in 275. Then it's Florianus, Probus and Carus, killed by lightning, but there's some debate. Then Caridus with Numerian, Diocletian with Maximian, and those last two had to abdicate. Constantius Chlorus, Severus II Galerius, Maximian makes a comeback round 308, Licinius shared power with Maximinus Dire, Maxentius was drowned by Constantine the Great. It's Valerius Valens, Martianus, and then Constantine and Constantius both aye. Constans was slain and Julian was apostate, and Jovian accidentally died. In other news, the Britannic Empire was kind of short-lived, Carausius and Electus, and that's all there is. Sheni ruled the west, Valens ruled the east, Gratian was assassinated in 383, Valentinian II was deposed in 392 and replaced by Honorius in 393. Magnus Maximus, usurper most mischievous, Theodosius recognized in 383, but 5 years in the future he gets deposed and executed, and Arcadius rules the east eventually. Constantius
Valentinian, both Mark III. Petronius Maximus meets a lynch party. Avitus Majorium, this is getting boring. And Livius Severus doesn't rhyme with anything. Anthemius Celebrius, a chap called Glycerius, succeeded in 474. Julius deposed, he got deposed, and like the Western Empire, I'm about to fall. Finally, Romulus Augustus was forced to abstinence by his own mercenaries in September 476. I've left out the odd pretender history won't recognize. Keep your Priscus, Attalus, Jovinus, Sebastianus, and don't get me started on the Byzantines. Acta is Fabula. Okay.
Christian Riley and the That was dangerously close to being genuinely educational. September the 9th, 1087, William the Conqueror, one of the fattest kings of all time, died as a result of some genuine French taunting. This is what really happened.
That was then, this is now. What really happened?
No. This is what really happened. We use the really happened sting when we're making up some rubbish comedic version of history, but this is what really happened.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. That was then, this is now.
What really happened?
That's better.
Fat King William the Conqueror was known all over Europe for his morbid obesity. His enemy, Philip I of France, loved to mock the massive monarch.
Have you seen the state of William the Conqueror? When will this fat man be delivered of a child?
Oh, very funny.
Yes, it is no wonder that the French sense of humour is so loved around the world.
Oh, yeah. It was implied that William was pregnant. Oh, it's priceless.
But news of the insult got back to William.
Who said what? How dare he?
The copious king immediately jumped on his horse and set off to Paris, furiously trying to come up with a retort.
No, you're the one who is with child. No. Well, I might be fat, but you're drunk, and whilst you'll be sober in the morning, that doesn't work. You want to know why I'm so fat, Philip I? Because every time I make love to your mother, Princess Anne of Kiev, she gives me a biscuit. Yes, that's the one.
He was so wrapped up in his comedy comeback that he failed to control his horse and it stumbled into a ditch. William was thrown forward and impaled on his pommel, the last thing you want to land on.
Oh, I landed on my pommel. Oh, I think I've burst my bowels. Oh, yeah. If I was that fat, then surely my stomach would have padded me. So, looks like I'm not so fat after all. Take that, King Philip I. Zing! Yeah. Perfect comeback. Oh, now I think I'll slowly die over the next few days in terrible agony.
And that's what really happened.
I still say it's funnier when you make stuff up.
I want this programme to be educational, Christian. There's nothing entertaining about education. That sketch was all true, apart from the bit about his mum giving him a biscuit. I don't think William the Conqueror originated that joke. But how did William the Conqueror get to such an enormous size? To find out, please welcome the presenter of the new Channel 4 archaeology show, They Were What They Ate, Dr. Miriam Dalgleish.
Hello, Richard. It's very nice to be here.
Hello. So, They Are What They Ate. Once again, Channel 4 seem to have taken the formats of two successful shows, Time Team and that thing with the woman who looks at your poo, and combined them to make a new aberration which makes Balls of Steel look like quality adult broadcasting rather than what it is, happy slapping with a budget, you know? I never thought I'd look back and think Bo Selector wasn't the worst show in the world.
The Channel 4 execs are very pleased with themselves.
But you are a genuine archaeologist.
Yes, I am. But not just any archaeologist. I'm a specialist coprolite analyst.
What does that mean?
I analyse fossilised stools.
Really? You investigate historical poo?
We prefer the term coprolites.
You're a chutney ferret.
I'm not strange or kinky. I am certainly not aroused by the idea of wading around in the waste matter of long dead people.
I never thought you were.
Good, because I'm not.
Good.
Some archaeologists specialise in jewellery, others in pottery, but my area of expertise is fecal matter.
Did you choose to work in this area, or did you not really concentrate at college?
No. No, I chose coprolites. I love them. And the contents of ancient cesspools and ditches can tell us all sorts about the diets and lifestyles of people from days gone by.
You're coproliting me.
No, straight up. And I've got the coprolites of some of the most famous figures in history here in these Tupperware boxes.
Tupperware?
Oh, yes, keeps them fresh. Though you have to make sure you don't take the wrong lunchbox if you're staying at my house. I'm joking. Well, this might interest you. This is the coprolite of Samuel Pepys, the famous diarrhearist.
You mean diarist?
I know what I mean.
Gosh, yeah, you're looking at that. That is pretty loose. That's
Analysis shows that Pepys existed on a diet of pure parmesan. Smell how cheesy it is.
Hold on, did you find this in his garden?
Yes.
That's not a coprolite, that is his parmesan. He must never have dug it up again.
Well, have a look at this one. It belongs to Jane Seymour.
Oh, right, yeah, the wife of Henry VIII.
No, the actress. I collect coprolites of famous people in my spare time just for fun.
You're clearly mad.
There's nothing strange about it. Some people collect autographs, some film posters. I like to collect coprolites of the stars.
All right, this is enough. You're clearly mentally ill. I don't think we should broadcast this.
No, wait, don't you want to see William the Conqueror's coprolite? That's why I'm here.
Oh, God, it stinks.
Well, yes, that's because William the Conqueror's diet was mostly meat and refined carbohydrates.
Hold on a minute. Where did you find this?
In a field. In Hastings. Where William the Conqueror was.
What? William the Conqueror, the King of England, used to spend his time just coproliting willy-nilly in fields? You don't see that in the Bayeux Tapestry.
Yeah. They stitched over that bit. He has to go to the toilet. He's not Jack Bauer.
So you found this on an archaeological dig?
No, I just found it. I was looking for coprolites with my coprolite detector.
Your coprolite detector?
This stick.
So let's get this straight. You were just walking in a field, weren't you? And you found a coprolite.
That's right.
You thought, what? And William Conqueror's just still lying there 900 years
It's a
later,
very
is it?
peaty
And it's
field.
still moist.
Yes.
This is a dog mess, isn't it? Look. There's remains of a bonio still in it.
Oh, fan-dubby-duzzy! William the Conqueror ate dog biscuits. Oh, that's what killed him. Alert the historians, this is an incredible scoop.
Don't give me that coprolite, Dalgleish. Get out of here and take your coprolite with you.
I'm going. Oh, just one more thing. Could I have one of your coprolites, Richie? Because it's not for me, it's for my nephew.
That's what they all say. Get out of here.
Oh, I'll get what I'm after, Herring. You can't hold it in forever, and you never know which U-bend I'll be lurking around.
Did she just flush herself down a toilet, Chris?
I think she did.
I wrote that. Do you think my dad's proud of me? Because he isn't. I'm 39 years old now, and that's how I make my living. That's pathetic, isn't it? Yeah. If you want to write in and complain about that, I agree with you. It's rubbish and offensive. You should be upset. But if I had a time machine, I wouldn't travel back to spy my mum undressing. I'd travel back 10 minutes and stop that sketch ever existing, right? It's too late now. We can't change the past. That's history. Good afternoon.
That was Then, This Is Now was written and performed by Richard Herring, Emma Kennedy, Dan Tetzel, me, Danny Robbins, and Christian Riley and the Cato Street Conspirators, who were Damien Caldwell, Martin Kane, and Charlie Round Turner. It was produced by Mother Liz Anstey of Hammersmith. It was a Celador production for BBC Radio 2.
Mr. Richard Herring!
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to Series 2, Episode 3 of the show all the fat kids are calling Twatuttin. You sheep. You're just shouting that out because I told you to. If I told you to jump off a cliff, would you do that?
We do anything for you, Rich.
Anything?
Anything.
Great. Well, in that case, I want you all to sit back and enjoy the next 27 minutes of history-based japes that me and my chums have prepared for you.
Oh.
What? We'd all like to leave our mark on history, from Michelangelo painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel to the schoolboy tracing a crude representation of male genitalia on a steamed-up window. We're all just trying to scream out to the future, I was here, I existed, don't forget me. Yet we are just spitting in the wind. Yes, spitting. The passage of time will erase all memory of Shakespeare, Pythagoras, Alexander the Great. Eventually, even science from Big Brother will be forgotten. In the long run, everything we do is just a pointless waste of effort. But don't let that get you down. In the meantime, there are plenty of history-based laughs to be had. Plus, we're joined by a popular music band, Christian Riley and the Pogroms.
That was then, this is now. History in the marking.
Hey, Christ.
Do you realise just now you were totally in with the audience?
What do you mean?
Did you hear the way they said anything? They wanted to have sex with you.
Are you sure?
Definitely. Quite perverted sex from the sound of it. If it's possible to have any other kind of sex with 200 people.
No way, I really fancy this audience as well. All of them. Is that what you were implying, audience?
Yes, that's why we said anything.
Oh, sorry. Well, if you're still up for it, then... Gosh darn it.
That was then, this is now. Very nearly the first radio show to include a menage de son et un.
Anyway, and what happened in history this week? To help us find out, will you please welcome our regular contributor, conspiracy theorist and sci-fi inter-nerd, Brian O'Green.
Hello, Richard. Or to quote Tweaky from Buck Rogers, biddy biddy.
You're priceless. So, Brian, what happened in history this week?
Well, Richard, only one of the most terrible, shocking, earth-changing events in human history, certainly of our generation. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. It happened on 13th of September...
13th?
1999.
What? I don't remember anything.
The entire media seems to be ignoring it. I suspect a conspiracy.
Yeah, as usual.
But it was on that date that a lunar nuclear waste dump exploded, sending the moon hurtling into deep space.
What are you talking about?
The moon broke free of Earth's orbit, and it is unclear whether the people on Moonbase Alpha will ever get home.
Yeah. I think I see what's happened here. You're talking about the fictional TV series Space 1999.
You say TV series, I say chilling prediction of future events made by Thunderbird maestro Jerry Anderson.
Well, I'm correct. It's a TV series. After all, the moon didn't break free of its orbit in 1999, did it?
Ah, didn't it?
No, it didn't.
Well, you may doubt, Richard, but many things that have been predicted by science fiction have come true in real life.
Such as?
Well, H.G. Wells had a very high success rate. In his book, The Shape of Things to Come, published in 1933, he predicted that the shape of things to come would be rectangular. When you look at TVs, computers, skyscrapers, it's an eerily accurate piece of forecasting. iPods as well. And chocolate bourbons. Spooky.
Well, he didn't get it so right with the Martian invasion or the time machine, though, did he?
Ah, didn't he?
No, he didn't.
Well, anyway, to find out if Space 1999 could ever happen in real life, I have invited along the Professor of Cosmology and Nuclear Physics from De Montfort University, Professor Frederick Yaffle.
Hello.
I'm sorry about this, Professor.
It's all right.
So, Prof, do you think Jerry Anderson of Stingray and Thunderbird's fame was right? Could an explosion at a nuclear fuel dump cause the moon to go plunging into space?
No, it could not. That could never happen.
Oh, how can you be so sure?
I am a professor of nuclear physics. A nuclear explosion on the moon would have devastating results, but the worst-case scenario would be the destruction of the moon itself. It would take an exponentially greater force to propel a satellite the size of the Earth's moon on an unstoppable trajectory through space. The whole idea is ludicrous.
Well, there you go, Brian.
But do you not think, though, that it would be a wise precaution to ask Tony Blair, the Prime Minister, to make it illegal for people to dump their nuclear waste on the moon?
No, I don't, no.
So it looks like you were wrong, Brian. Sorry, Professor, for having wasted your time.
Yeah, not at all. It has been a pleasure.
No, I'm not satisfied. I have no trust of science. I will put my faith in science fiction. By the end of today's show, I vow in the name of Jerry Anderson and Space 1999 that the Earth's moon will have broken free of the Earth's bonds.
Yes, I am not sure that you want to do that, Brian, even if you could. The moon is our friend. It causes tides, it stabilizes the Earth's orbit. Also, I hate to think what effect the moonless world would have on women's menstrual cycles. It doesn't bear thinking about. For this reason alone, I would have to advise caution, though it would also immediately eliminate all werewolves. So, you have to balance it up.
Sorry, Professor Yaffle, my mind is made up. By 1:30, the moon will be gone.
So, thanks for that, Professor. I don't know if you know, you've got the same name as that woodpecker from Bagpuss.
Oh, no one has ever pointed that out before.
All right, then. Don't get all edgy with me, pal. I was just being friendly. You think if it bothered you, you wouldn't do exactly the same laugh as the idiotic bird.
I don't know what you were talking about.
I'm 39 years old, you know.
Yeah.
That was then. This is now. Do you think Richard Herring's dad is proud of him? Because he isn't. He is ashamed.
Let's get on to some proper history. On September the 16th, 1620, the Mayflower left Plymouth bearing a group of pilgrims towards a new life in the New World.
At last, Jeremiah, we begin God's appointed mission to found a new colony based on our Puritan beliefs. Oh, did you pack all the Bibles?
Yep, and I brought my gun as well.
Well, hopefully you won't need it. We're leaving behind the fractious sectarianism of the old world and founding a society based on common brotherhood in Christ. I doubt our new American home will ever become a gun-based society.
Well, I brought it anyway. We have to protect our property.
Well, we're Puritans. We don't really have anything worth stealing, do we?
Speak for yourself. This gun is very expensive.
Yeah, okay, good point. You will need your gun to protect your gun. Anyway, I feel the hand of history upon our shoulders, Jeremiah. In time to come, we will be known as the Pilgrim Fathers.
And mothers.
Sorry?
Mothers. Pilgrim fathers and mothers. Actually, pilgrim mothers and fathers, because technically that's the way around it normally goes.
Yeah, no. I think it'll just be Pilgrim Fathers, actually.
Why?
Because, it's just Pilgrim Fathers, all right?
Well, hang on. Can't we have a vote on it?
All right, we'll have a vote. Hands up, everyone who's in favour of it being Pilgrim Fathers.
Aye.
Okay, that's all the men. Great. And now, hands up, anyone in favour of it being Pilgrim Mothers and Fathers.
Yes, that's me.
It's all the women, but 1620 women don't have the vote, so...
I thought we were leaving all that old world stuff behind.
Yeah, but, not all of it, not the good bits. We've kept the outfits, for instance.
And the guns.
No, just shut up about the guns.
Well, what about the pilgrim children? Yeah, do they get a look in?
No. Though hopefully some of them will grow up into Pilgrim Fathers, but just the boy ones, not the girls.
That's a bit sexist.
Yeah, we're Puritans, get used to it.
So, hang on a minute. You want history to remember the exploits of the Pilgrim Fathers, a men-only group living side by side with no women, just little boys.
Yes, that is the first page of American history.
Well, it sounds a bit suspect.
Shall I shoot her?
Yes.
Oh, you pilgrim mother...
Fathers. Pilgrim fathers. And that's how America was born. But remember, guns don't kill people, Americans kill people. Now it's time for some music, so please welcome back my rock and roll buddies, Christian Riley and the Pogroms.
Thanks. Now, tomorrow marks the birth of Julius III, who was a 16th century Counter-Reformation pope. And, through the power of rock, we're now going to make this very exciting. Brother Charles? I got the biggest house in Rome. Close friends call me Your Grace. I wear a big pointy hat all over the place. I believe the 7 sacraments are a very sacred thing. You tell Martin Luther he could kiss my papal ring.
I'm a counter-reformation pope. Retaining the structure of the medieval church is my plan.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Don't tell me that I Vatican, 'cause I know that I Vatican. If you're looking for God, you came to the right place. You're looking for his representative on earth. You just look right in my face. I'm the 16th century counter-reformation pope, and I am the new rock and roll. Wow! I got a fresco in my villa depicting cherubs playing with each other's genitals. Wow! Can I get an amen? Amen! Can I get an hallelujah? Hallelujah! Can I uphold the dogma of salvation through faith and works and other practices such as indulgences, pilgrimages, and the veneration of saints and relics?
Of course I can. I'm a goddamn 16th century counter-reformation pope.
Look out!
Christian Riley and the Pogrom. So let's find out how Brian O'Green is getting on with his quest to send the moon hurtling out of orbit. I'll just give him a quick ring. Hey there, Brian.
Greetings, Earthling.
Hello, Brian. Just wondered if you'd had any success with your Space 1999-inspired moon project.
Well, Richard, it's certainly proving a lot more difficult than I imagined. My first problem is that the moon is not only a lot bigger than it appears in the sky, it's also a lot further away than you'd think. Some 384,403 kms on average. I had underestimated how difficult it would be to get there in just 30 minutes. Then I thought that if I could perhaps construct a pole long enough to reach up into space, I could then perhaps push the moon off course.
Well, you know, that doesn't sound a very good idea, really, does it?
And you'd like that, wouldn't you, Richard? Because you want the moon on a stick. Do you get it? You get it? Moon on a stick. You used to say that on that, on that TV programme that you did a while ago.
Yeah, well done, Brian. You got me there using a 12-year-old catchphrase of mine against it. Oh, it's smarts. Unfortunately, I wasn't in Little Britain, so my catchphrase didn't really catch on. So I think your reference will be lost amongst most of the Radio 2 audience. But, you know, back in 1995, people would probably say that to me 10 times a day. It was really annoying. Nowadays, someone says it to me about once every 8 months, which actually is much, much worse. Keep up your world-destroying work, though, Brian. You've still got several minutes left. Good luck.
Bitty bitty.
So, anyone who's seen Top Gear will be able to tell you how tedious cars are. But did you know they can also kill? And yet they failed to kill Jeremy Clarkson. Where's the justice? And where's a stingray when you really need one? But this week in 1899, Henry Bliss was the first man in America to be killed in a car accident. Here's a tasteful sketch about his tragic death.
Are you sure you want to see the body, Mrs. Bliss?
Yes, I'd like to see Henry one last time.
All right, prepare yourself.
Oh.
Yes, I'm afraid the accident was quite a serious one. Your husband is barely recognisable.
Oh, Henry, this is the worst day of my life.
I understand. But on the plus side...
What?
Well, you know, he is the first person to be killed in an automobile accident.
So?
That's quite impressive, isn't it? You're not going to forget that in a hurry.
He's my husband. I'm not going to forget his death in a hurry, however he went.
But Mrs. Bliss, he's number one. He's the first. That is an achievement. His name will go down in history. His name is now the answer to a pub quiz question.
That's no consolation.
Is it not? All right, okay, how about this? You know, imagine if sometime in the future some comedian comes up with the idea of a weekly sketch show based around historical events, and imagine further that it's quite a slow week, apart from one massively horrific and some would say taboo event, then this comedian might make a skit based entirely around the currently traumatic nature of your husband's death.
But that's terrible.
For BBC Radio 2.
Oh, you're right. That is a comfort.
Now it's the part of the show where I'm contractually obliged to welcome our regular pundit. She's your friend, and that's nice for you. Please smack your hands together until they become bleeding stumps for TV's Emma Kennedy.
Hello again. I'm TV's Emma Kennedy. Lovely to be back.
Now, in Series 1, you presented what I would call the unsuccessful TV Emma Kennedy's Births, Deaths and Marriages section.
That's right, I did.
But the public were roused from their sofas about the axing of births, deaths and marriages, and the Twatuttin sheep postbag has been inundated with almost 2 letters.
Almost 2?
Almost 2.
Wow.
Asking for its return. Are you up for it?
Anything for my public, Richard.
I hate you.
It's time to find out who got wet, bread or dead with TV's Emma Kennedy.
Hello, I'm TV's Emma Kennedy, and this is TV's Emma Kennedy's Births, Deaths and Marriages. It's good to be back. So let's find out who got laid to rest, laid in the honeymoon suite, or laid out of their mother's clacker this week. September the 15th, 1984, saw the birth of little Prince Harry, who would later shock the world by dressing up like a Nazi at a fancy dress party. What an idiot! Like father, like son, I say. Although, having said that, I thought James Hewitt did really well in the games. But take care, Prince Harry, because, like a candle in the wind, our lives can be snuffed out without warning. Though you're probably aware of that. But anyway, the 12th September 1977 saw the death of Sergeant Bilko. But even though he was dead and buried, his grave was desecrated in 1996 when Steve Martin appeared in the unpopular film of the same name, digging up the corpse of Phil Silvers in order to urinate all over it. Steve Martin enjoyed the experience, but mostly the money, so much that he later went on to do exactly the same thing with the cadaver of Inspector Clouseau. I hate you, Steve Martin! But let's not dwell on the infinite darkness of the everlasting abyss.
Sorry,
Jackie,
sorry, I am going to have to stop you there. Can we just back things up a little, rewind there? The 12th of September 1977 saw the death of Sergeant Bilko.
You heard me, Herring.
Do you mean the character, Sergeant Bilko, or the actor, Phil Silvers?
Well, I don't know. Is it important?
Well, because if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, Phil Silvers died on November the 1st, 1985.
I know.
Whilst the final episode of the Phil Silvers Show, in which Bilko appeared, aired on the 17th of June, 1959. The character of Bilko ended that episode, I think, certainly hale and hearty, certainly not dead in any sense.
Well, it's in my research notes, so I think I should know. Steve Bilko died on 12th September 1977.
Steve Bilko.
To his friends?
Let me see that. It says Steve Biko, Emma. What you've done there, you confused the heroic, non-violent opponent of apartheid who was murdered for his beliefs, quite an important figure, with a fictional character who provided the inspiration for the cartoon series Top Cat.
And you put...
do you have any idea how offensive that is? It's going to offend a lot of people.
Look, I had to do this in a rush, all right? I've been very busy filming the second series of Suburban Shootout.
Blimey, there's a second series of that.
Yes, there is, and it's on TV.
Channel 5.
It's still TV, so forgive me if I don't take this radio show too seriously.
You've changed, Kennedy.
Yes, I have, and you've stayed the same, exactly the same, which is why you're not on TV like me.
Don't applaud her. She's defended the entire anti-apartheid movement. Get out of my sight, you mawkish Medusa.
I'm not mawkish.
You are. You're so mawkish. You're the underpacked modelling brother of one of the members of New Kids on the Block. Do you know who you would be?
No.
Mawky Mawk. Marky Mark.
Yeah,
Marky Mark.
I should have got that one.
It was quite easy, really. You should have got that.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Kennedy. We should never revive this moribund format. We don't need your type on this show.
Oh, I'm going. For good this time.
Good. See you next week, then.
Yeah, see you next week. Yeah, bye.
That was then, this is now. Proving historical is scarcely hysterical.
Of course, it was this week in 2001 when the world watched in disbelief and horror as 2 planes flew into the World Trade Center on 11/9. As I insist on calling it, even if I meet someone who says it is quite sad, my husband died on 9/11, I say, no, he didn't. I think it's important to stick up for your principles, no matter how clearly wrong they are. And I feel the London bombers made a terrible mistake bombing on 7/7. They've united the UK and America on the one issue that threatened to drive us apart. Bloody idiots. If there are any terrorists listening, I know I've got a lot of fans in the Al-Qaeda network, I'd just like to say, please don't do any more atrocities. They are wrong. I strongly believe that. But if you're going to do them anyway, despite my pleas, could you try and achieve something useful along with your dastardly deeds? Can I suggest you do your next awful thing on the 24th of July? Because that at least would mean no one will be able to use the phrase 24/7 ever again, which... Some good will come from your evil like a flower growing out of the dung. I also really hate it when people use that awful euphemistic term, the events of September the 11th. You know, why don't they be more specific? It really gets on my wick. Luckily, thanks to this show, I can put my knowledge of the dates of historical events to good use.
Well, I have to say, I can't abide the way that Bush and Blair have justified their illegal imperialist occupation of the Middle East because of the events of September the 11th.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely true. No, I agree with you, yeah.
Sorry, what do you mean exactly? The events of September the 11th? Which events are you talking about?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. You're referring to the Battle of Brandywine in 1777, the major American Revolutionary War victory for the British in Chester County, Pennsylvania.
No.
Oh, well, perhaps you mean the murder of Stephanus Hagiochristopheraites by Isaac II Angelus in 1185. No?
Come on, I think you're being needlessly pedantic, Richard.
Or maybe you must be talking about the 1921 arrest of movie star Fatty Arbuckle for the crime of rape. Has Bush used that as an excuse for the war in Iraq? God, what will he try next?
Come on, Simon is obviously referring to the events of September the 11th, 2001.
Oh, right, sorry, I was being a bit stupid there. You're talking about all the stuff that was going on at the TUC conference in Brighton that day. Blair was...
No, I'm not.
The declaration that farms in Scotland were now free of foot and mouth?
No, come on, stop it.
The birthday celebrations of my friend Daisy Gardner? It seems unlikely.
Yeah, could you just stop this now, Richard? It's needlessly confrontational and offensive
I genuinely don't know. Which events are you talking about? You have to be more specific.
Hey, buddy, can you stop being so insensitive? My best friend was killed in 9/11.
Look, mate, we're talking about the events of the 11th of September at the moment. You can tell your story when we get to the 9th of November, but just wait your turn. Bloody Americans. They're so pushy, aren't they? It's all me with the Americans, isn't it? I don't get invited to many dinner parties.
That was then and this is now. We never sleep because history is 24/7.
Okay, Richard, get out your telescope and sit back and watch this.
What's up?
I've managed to persuade President George W. Bush to fire his entire nuclear arsenal at the Earth's moon.
How did you achieve that?
I just told him Osama bin Laden was up there conducting some stem cell research. That's all it took. Anyway, the missile should strike any minute now. Then we'll see who's correct. Space 1999 or Professor Yaffle. Yay!
Blimey, what's happened?
The moon has gone. It's heading into space. I am vindicated.
No, Brian, it has simply been destroyed by the explosion.
Well, Professor Yaffle, if that's what science wants to believe has happened, then fine. But I think the rest of us know better.
I think the professor may be right. There are reports coming in that chunks of burning moon are raining down on the planet, killing millions. The tides have stopped, the world's wobbling on its axis, and worse still, without their menstrual regulator, all women are going insane. See? It's terrible.
Oops. What have you done, O'Green? What have you done? Confused hormonal women are on the rampage. We are all going to die.
Oh, sorry, I admit I was wrong, but it's okay. Sci-fi caused the problem. Now sci-fi can solve it. We can just build a new moon using the plans from Darth Vader's Death Star off of Star Wars. Simple. And at least now we know the truth. Isn't that what's really important?
Yes, it is, Brian. Well done. The truth is more important than 1 million people's lives. Well, that's it for another episode of That Was Then, This Is Now. We'll be back next week, and we promise not to destroy any major heavenly bodies on that show. Maybe Pluto, but that doesn't really count anymore, so I think we'll be fine. Good afternoon.
That was Then, This Is Now. It starred and was written by Richard Herring, Dan Tetzel, Danny Robbins and me, Emma Kennedy. All the music and stuff was composed and performed by Christian Riley and the Pogroms, Damien Caldwell, Martin Kane and Charlie Brown Turner. It was produced by Pope Lizansi VI and was a Celador production for BBC Radio 2. Woo! Now give me some flipping chocolate!
That was then, this is now. Please welcome your host, Richard Herring.
Thank you. Good afternoon, and welcome to yet another instalment of Twatuttin. I despise you. But we do love receiving your letters, drawings and death threats here at the show. This week I got an email from Timothy Masterson from Scotland who asked, how do you come up with the sketches for That Was Then, This Is Now? To be honest, it sounds like you're just making them up as you go along. Well, it's nice to know it at least sounds so effortless, but believe me, young Timothy, it takes a heck of a lot of work. Me and the team generally leave the writing of the show until the night before the recording, just in case any new historical events are discovered at the last moment. Then we trawl the internet for stories that happened this week in history, which we compile on what we in the radio biz call a piece of paper. Like this piece of paper here. The first item of the stuff we found this week is 17th of September 1577, Peace of Bergerac, signed between Henry III of France and the Huguenots. Now, me and the team will sit around struggling to think of a humorous angle on the Peace of Bergerac. Surely there's nothing there. You'd have to be a genius to think of anything for that. So, luckily, though, we are all genii. And eventually one of us, usually Danny...
Hi.
...will say...
Hold on, Bergerac. I think there used to be a TV show called Bergerac.
Right.
What if we somehow link this historical event to the TV series Bergerac?
And I'll say, how do you mean, Danny? I don't understand how that would work. And then Danny will say... And then go quiet for a bit. Then more time will pass and someone else, maybe Dan...
Hello.
...will say...
Well, maybe Henry III is a big fan of Bergerac, but the Huguenots hate it, preferring the adventures of Shoestring, and then, I don't know, they have a war or something.
And I'm like, hey, Buster, slow down. This is comedy dynamite. Let me write this down. Then somebody, maybe TV's Emma Kennedy...
Hello.
...will say...
I said that about half an hour ago and you just ignored me and said it was rubbish.
And I'll say, shut up, you're just the girl one. What do you know? Then I'll ring Christian...
That's me.
...and say, can you and the guys work up the Bergerac theme tune? And he'll say...
Well, we are highly trained musicians, but if that's how you want to employ us, it's your dollar.
And then I'll say, brilliant, we've got a show. See you in the studio tomorrow, and we'll try and make something up based on that. This process can take upwards of 45 minutes, which is still 5,000 times the preparation put into Jammin' by Roland Rivra. I hope that answers your question, Timothy. Is that 27 minutes yet?
No.
You're kidding. Well, in that case, I'd better introduce the show's cool pop band. It's Christian Riley and Bismarck. Don't stop it, guys. Shut up. We don't need the Bergerac theme tune, really. That was just for the skit. We're not doing that sketch. It was a joke.
Well, it took us ages to work that one up.
It was a joke, Christian. That was just a bit of fabricated self-mockery. We actually put a lot of work into this show. Most of it in coming up for alternatives for swear words that the evil Radio 2 censors insist on us taking out, the uptight melon farmers.
Right, so you actually work very hard, yes. I don't know how I could have possibly thought otherwise.
None of the stuff in that sketch was true. It was all make-believe. You don't really believe there was a piece of Bergerac, did you? God, you
It rang a bell.
What, you thought there was a Henry III of France? Are you nuts?
Well, I thought I heard something about him. Didn't he reign from 1551 to 1559?
Oh, come on, you idiot. Henry III of France. How likely is that? It's like something dreamt up by the writers of Titty Bang Bang. You'll be telling me next you thought the Huguenots were real.
Well, it sounds plausible.
The Huguenots? Come on, it's a nonsensical word I invented. Listen to it. Huguenots. It sounds like huge nose. That's why that's a funny joke.
Yes, I see now. It's very funny.
Thank you. Honestly, Christian, you are as gullible as A.N. Wilson. That was very nearly topical. Is that 27 minutes now?
No.
Gone.
That was then, this is now. Still 24 minutes of gaping void to fill with a data point to scribble.
All right, no need to be rude. It was on September the 19th, 1900, that Robert Leroy Parker and Harry Alonzo Longabout committed their first robbery together. Who were they? Well, you probably know them better as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid from the film Butch and Sundance: The Early Years. But how did they come up with their colourful nicknames? Here's what really happened.
That was then, this is now.
What really happened?
So, before we go out and do our first robbery, we need some nicky names. So, first you, Harry Alonzo Longabout. Not a great name for an outlaw. We're going to call you the Sundance Kid.
Sorry?
The Sundance Kid. That's like your nicky name.
I'm the Sundance Kid. I'm a desperate homicidal criminal. Yeah, you've given me a name that makes me sound like a child who prances around in the sunshine, or worse, someone who dances with someone's son, which is looked down upon even in the Wild West. Just call me Harry or Mr. Longabout. Either of those will be fine.
Oh, don't be like that. It took me ages to think of the Sundance Kid.
It's just a bit fruity, you know, for a tough guy like me.
Oh, shut up. You are the Sundance Kid.
Can't I at least be the Sundance grown-up man?
No. Don't be soft. You are the Sundance Kid. Now, to my nicky name. Now, as you know, my real name is Robert Leroy Parker, but that won't strike fear into anyone's heart. So I'm going to call myself Butch Cassidy.
Butch Cassidy?
Yeah, I mean, how much more manly could a name be? I am Butch. Butch, I tell you.
Aren't you concerned about the slightly puffy overtones of the word Butch?
It's hardly puffy.
Well, don't think people will laugh at us. You know, here comes Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You're not worried people will think we're some kind of couple?
No, not at all. They are brilliant names. Now, to the name of the gang. Yeah, I think we should call ourselves, wait for it, the Wild Bunch. Ta-da!
The Wild Bunch?
Yeah, because we're wild. Oh, we're wild. Oh, baby, wild.
Yeah, when you say it like that, it does sound better, yeah. Isn't there a more manly word than wild?
No, I like it. Plus, it's a little tribute to my favourite playwright and wit, Oscar Wilde. There's only one thing in the world worse than being talked about, and that's not being talked about. Oh, she slays me.
You know he's a homosexual, right, Oscar Wilde?
Do you have some issue here?
Look, we can say we're wild, but do we have to be a bunch? You know, it's like bananas or... It's not very intimidating, is it? At least the Wild Gang, or the Wild Desperados, or the Wild Really, Really Scary and Heterosexual Men.
Look, all right, if you don't like that, how about the Hole in the Wall Gang?
Hole in the wall? Are you serious? You know what goes on in the toilets these guys hang around in, don't you? You must know what a hole in the wall alludes to. Why not just go the whole hog? Why not call ourselves the Bum Bandits? What about...
Oh, yeah, no. That is a good idea, actually, because it works on 2 levels. We're bandits who are bums, but
You don't think a bunch of wild men living in the mountains together with no women, led by a couple called Butch and Sundance, who would jump off a cliff for each other if the moment arose, and who have an interest in holes in the wall, might be seen as being just a little bit gay?
But we are gay, Sundance. That's what brought us together, our love of blowing up trains and sodomy.
I know, Butch, but we don't have to advertise it quite so much, do we? I just don't think the world is ready to accept the idea of 2 cowboys who go off into the mountains to make bareback, brokeback love. I just don't think...
Well, maybe not yet, Sundance, but who knows? One day.
Until then, though, it's our secret, OK?
Of course.
All right, let's shake on it the old Wild West way. Ooh, actually seems a shame to waste that. The 19th of September 1928 was a cinematic landmark. Mickey Mouse made his screen debut in Steamboat Willie. We're lucky enough to have with us a man who remembers the first showing of Mickey Mouse in this country. Please welcome Eric Woodbine.
Hello there. Hello there, Mr. Herring. Hello, pleasure to be here.
So, Eric, what can you remember about that first Mickey Mouse cartoon?
Things were hard in them days. It were during the Depression, so when that cheery little mouse come on screen doing his little dance, bobbing up and down at the wheel of that ship, no one in the cinema could believe what they were seeing. I turned to my dad and I said, bloody hell, is this supposed to be funny? And he turned to me and he said, I think that's what Walt Disney was hoping, but he's sadly mistaken. I've had more entertaining hernias. Jesus. Oh, it were rubbish. It were an insult to everyone's intelligence. People were getting furious. They were throwing stuff at the screen. You know, they were shouting out for something else to happen, you know. But no, just a mouse at the wheel of a steamboat, bobbing up and down, looking pleased with himself, hour after hour. It made me angry just to think about it. Still, you know, what about a plot? What about some sort of character development? What about a cat arriving and ripping him to pieces, you know? What about some ladies arriving and lezzing up on the deck? No, just that stupid, rubbishly drawn, smug rodent bobbing along like a twassock. Even tiny children found it brain-achingly dull.
Well, it's an interesting insight there. Mickey Mouse, always been tedious.
Charlie Chaplin, too. He's about as funny as all of Bo Selector put together. Everyone hated him.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. Thanks for coming in.
God, the old days were crap. I just thank God I lived long enough to see Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's entertaining.
Shut up. Nobody is interested in you and your nostalgia of 1990s TV shows. It's time for a song.
Oh, God, our music were awful as well. Gracie Fields. Did anyone enjoy that cack?
It's Christian Riley and Bismarck. Shut up.
On September the 19th, 1970, the Velvet Underground released their seminal album Loaded, and this is our tribute to this very influential band. I can't stop writing songs about heroin. I try and I try, but I can't, because when the royalties come flooding in to my bank account, and then I wanna write them again and again, and all of the lyrics rushing in my brain makes me feel like I'm a man. I try to stop, but I can't. I try to stop writing songs about heroin. I'm waiting for my man at the store to sell me a pad and a pen. I got $2.50 in my hand. The queue at the checkout never seems to end. So I just start writing there and then.
but the ink won't come out of my pen. I have to do that little scribbly thing, and then the ink shoots at the tip. I just can't get enough of it. I can't stop. I once wrote a song about eating fresh fruit and getting a good night's sleep. But it was boring. I couldn't wait to jack my guitar in and start writing about heroin. Again and again and again, I try to stop, but I can't. Oh, I try to stop. Writer's cramp will be the death of me, and paper cuts from my rhyming dictionary. I'm writing songs about heroin. I can't stop. Writing songs about heroin till I wind up dead. I'll try to write about methadone instead.
Christian Riley and Bismarck. Now it's time to welcome TV's Emma Kennedy.
Hello, Rich. Lovely to be here.
The pleasure is all yours. So, we're still struggling to find the format which will best display your talents.
Yes.
What are you doing this week?
Well, on the 21st September 1996, the ill-starred couple JFK Jr. and Caroline Bessette were married just a week after the anniversary of the ill-starred marriage of JFK Jr.'s parents, JFK Sr. and Jacqueline Bouvier. And the tragedies that unfolded within years of both these marriages got me a-thinking. Is there a curse attached to my Kennedy family name? So welcome to a new segment I like to call TV's Emma Kennedy's Curse of the Kennedys.
Curse of the Kennedys.
Hello, I'm TV's Emma Kennedy, and I'm the scared possessor of the most cursed name on earth, Kennedy. Brr, creepy. Not one person called Kennedy has escaped the
Curse of the Kennedys.
John F. Kennedy, cursed to be shot in the head after being cursed to a life of privilege where he got to sleep with Marilyn Monroe. Robert Kennedy, cursed to be killed by the assassin with the most stupid name ever, Sirhan Sirhan, and cursed to a life of privilege where he got to sleep with Marilyn Monroe. Charles Kennedy, cursed to find out that spending 15 years pissed could still not blot out the realization that he was leader of the Liberal Democrats. Nigel Kennedy, cursed to have to live his life being Nigel Kennedy. Dr. Carl and Susan Kennedy off of Neighbours, cursed to be tragically divorced, even though they obviously still love each other. No Kennedy is safe from the
Curse of the Kennedys.
Yeah, that's good, Emma. Good format. There's only one problem with that format that I can really see, to be honest.
Can't really see any problem.
Your real name is Emma Williams. Emma Kennedy is just your stage name that you were forced to adopt because there was already an Emma Williams in Equity.
Yes, Graham Garden's
wife, I believe.
Yeah, but the point is, I'm still part of the Kennedy clan.
That, Emma, unfortunately, is in no way true, is it? Just calling yourself something doesn't make you something. I call myself King Dong II, but that doesn't make it true, does it?
No, it's not true.
It
no.
happens to be true, but just calling myself that...
It's really not true.
You're just cashing in on the deaths and misfortunes of others to make yourself somehow look important.
What, and you're not?
No, I'm not. If only there was some good way to describe you, an adjective that just perfectly summed you up, just in one... Well, I wonder what it could be. Oh, no, I think I've got it, actually. Mawkish!
I am not mawkish.
You are so mawkish. You are so mawkish, you are Mork Antony. You're Mork the Slayer. Mork the Slayer. If you were a philosophical Roman emperor, do you know who you would be?
No.
Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius.
That's probably the worst one you've ever done.
Yeah, I pushed it one Mork too far. It's difficult to keep thinking of Mork-based puns, though. Mork
Look,
is
I
harder
don't
than
care.
you think.
I don't care, Richard, because my TV's Emma Kennedy's Curse of the Kennedys is, I feel, my best segment ever.
Yeah, but only in the same way that dysentery is better than the Ebola virus. Even though you are a pretend Kennedy, the curse has still affected you, hasn't it, Emma? Because causing you to appear in Suburban Shootout from now till the end of recorded time.
No, the real curse is that I'm here with you.
Well, if you don't like it, you know what you can do.
Well, I will, thanks. I'll just go.
Yeah, you okay to do next week's show, though?
Yeah, I've got it in my diary.
Twittertin, we love you, Twittertin. You're only on once a week.
For 6 weeks every 2 years.
The 17th of September 1271 saw the birth of Wenceslas II, who was king of Bohemia for over 25 years and king of Poland for the last 5 years of his life. However, his life was somewhat overshadowed by his more famous forebear.
King Wenceslas II of Bohemia!
Hello, King Wenceslas II. Welcome to my court. I'm King Andrew III of Hungary.
Yep, I recognise you from the coins.
And this is my wife, Fenena of Kujavia.
I've been so looking forward to meeting you. Everyone's always going on about you, good King Wenceslas.
No, this happens quite a lot. I'm not good King Wenceslas. You're confusing me with Wenceslas I. He's the one that the Good King Wenceslas song is about. Not that he actually is a king, just a duke, ironically.
Sorry, I didn't realise.
Don't worry, you know, it happens all the time. I hope you didn't invite me expecting the other one.
No,
good.
No, don't be ridiculous. I knew you weren't good, King Wenceslas.
Oh, it's not that I'm not good.
Right.
I am quite good. I've done loads of good stuff, really.
Oh, like what?
Well, when silver was discovered in central Bohemia in 1298, I took control of the mine and made silver production a royal monopoly.
That's not very good.
It was good for me.
Come on, what good things have you done?
Well, no, loads of things. I once gave one of my old worn-out cloaks to charity.
Well, it hardly puts you up with good King Wenceslas helping that poor man who was gathering winter few Well,
I'm not coming here claiming to be as good King Wenceslas. I'm just saying that just because I'm not called good King Wenceslas doesn't mean I haven't done some good things.
Well, have you ever looked out?
What?
Have you ever looked out?
Well, yeah, of course I've looked out.
On the Feast of Stephen?
I don't know. I don't keep a diary of all the times I've looked out. Probably.
No, then. He hasn't even looked out on the Feast of Stephen.
Look, just because I've got the same name as a notoriously good king doesn't mean I have to be constantly compared to him. I'm good, just not as good as good King Wenceslas, OK?
Is that what they call you, then? Good, just not as good as good King Wenceslas, King Wenceslas.
They call me King Wenceslas II of Bohemia and Poland.
So no descriptive epithet at all?
No.
He's rubbish, King Wenceslas.
Yeah, I know.
I can hear you when you whisper like that, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. I invited you along thinking we were going to make good King Wenceslas from the song, and you're not even a slightly good King Wenceslas. You're crap King Wenceslas.
I made silver production in Bohemia a royal monopoly.
Yeah, and don't you keep going on about it? Is that all you did in your whole life?
It was hard. There was a lot of admin and stuff involved.
You know what you were doing. How many people are called Wenceslas?
Loads.
Who were also a king?
Well, at least 2.
Yeah, you've called yourself that on purpose,
I haven't.
knowing that people would think you were good King Wenceslas, and you'd get invited to loads of parties and stuff for free, and perhaps pull girls.
I didn't think. It's just my name. I can't help that.
No, don't give me that. If you were going to do that, you should be polite enough to at least come along and do some good things at the party, like a magician or a balloon animal person. That's what you should have done. And at the very least, you should sing the song.
Yeah, like a tribute act. You know, like the bootleg good King Wenceslas.
Yeah, but no. Instead, you come here showing off about your silver mine,
Good.
eating all the canapé. Just get out.
Go on.
I tell you who you are. You're awful, greedy, and frankly, slightly smelly King Wenceslas.
Well, you're rude.
Come on, out you go. Go on.
Go on. Oh, thank God he's gone, awful man.
That's all we got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week for more history.
Rich, you can't stop there. There's still 2.5 minutes to fill.
Are you sure the show seemed longer than that?
Well, they say time flies when you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah. Hey? Look, guys, we're going to have to do the Bergerac sketch.
Oh, what?
No, we haven't written it yet.
Yeah, it didn't seem to stop us with the Wenceslas one.
All right, okay, well, all right, that's that. What are we going to do?
Well, I'll be Henry III.
Why are you always the main character?
Because it's my show, Danny. Maybe when you don't go on holiday the week before the recording, you can be the main character in the sketch.
Look, I don't care anyway. Henry III was probably gay.
Well, I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality to do that, to play two gay characters in one show. So, right, Dan, you and Danny are the Huguenots, right? And in this sketch, I want you to wear these funny Cyrano de Bergerac noses.
Yeah.
So every time you say, we're the Huguenots, the audience will crack up.
Right, how's that going to work on radio? Because they're not going to...
It will, that will work.
What am I?
You're nothing, Emma. There are no women in this sketch.
Well, can't I be Henry III's wife?
Well, not really, because he's gay, so...
Well, yeah, but even so, he married Louise de Lorraine Vaudemont on February the 13th, 1575, though suspiciously they had no children.
I hate Wikipedia. If it'll shut you up, Emma, you can be a messenger, comes in halfway through or something, OK? So, guys, if you can kick in with the Bergerac music, that'll be kind of a good start. Come in.
Hello, Henry III of France. We are the Huguenots.
Ah, oui. How amusing. Amusing as you also have quite huge noses.
Oh, well done.
Yeah,
you got it across. You got it across. I liked it. Yeah.
Now, I like Bergerac, while you like shoestring. C'est vrai?
You're meant to be French.
That is French. And anyway, his mother was Spanish, so...
No, his mother, Catherine de Medici, was Italian.
I hate Wikipedia. Same difference, though. It's the same.
So, yes, that is right. But we Huguenots...
Big noses, remember? That's why that's
Big nose.
Big nose.
Like shoestring.
Oh! That's... interesting. Is that it?
Yes. No, still a minute and a bit.
You're kidding? Why can't you see that the Jersey-based detective adventures are infinitely superior to the Bristol-based investigative journalist storylines?
Because they aren't. We've got huge noses!
That won't work. It's not going to work again. You can't do 3. Oh, look, a messenger. Thank goodness.
Greetings, sire. I have a message of some import.
I would be interested to hear.
This is the message.
Still 45 seconds.
Read the credits.
That was then, this is now, was performed and made up as they went along by Richard Herring, Dan Tetzel, me, Emma Kennedy, and Danny Robbins, who is last because he went on holiday the week before this show was recorded. Music was provided by Christian Riley and Bismarck, who were Damien Caldwell, Martin Kane, and Charlie Brown Turner. It was produced by Evil Queen Liz Anstey, the Third of Bohemia, and was a cellar door production for BBC Radio 2, and also Shoestring is Best.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, good. That applause has added valuable seconds onto the show. Okay, let's end this dispute, my huge nerds friends.
Yes.
Yeah, that's got to be 27 minutes.
Come on, yeah.
Not quite. 27 minutes is coming up right...
That was then, this is now. Please welcome Mr. Richard Herring!
Good afternoon, and welcome to yet another instalment of Twatuttin. It's the sketch show that looks at what happened in history this week and then makes little or no attempt to see how that relates to the world we live in today. Which was originally its brief, but none of us care about that anymore. No one's noticed. Probably best not to mention it at all. Really, this show should be called That Was Then. Then everyone would have to shout out, Twat! What did you call me? Oh, right, yeah. You can see the problems with that name. Perhaps the reason no one has noticed us straying from our brief is due to them being distracted by our ice-cold house music band. It's Christian Riley and Guillotine.
That was then, this is now. History, it's just one flipping thing after another.
Hey, Hey, Christ, good to see you. We haven't been socialising much after the shows this series.
Yeah, not at all, really.
So I wondered after the gig whether you wanted to come out with me and try and have sex with some of the easily impressed, vulnerable, borderline mentally ill women in the audience.
Well, it does sound tempting when you put it like that, but I can't really do that because I'm married.
You? Married? No way, not Christian Riley, not the Christmeister, not Porcus Christi, not Riley, ace of hairy pies. You've just shattered 1 million hearts, including mine. When did you get married?
Last weekend.
Oh, right. My invite must have got lost in the post or something.
No, it was a private affair. It was only family and really close friends.
Yeah, it was a brilliant do. Thanks, Christian.
You invited TV's Emma Kennedy?
But she's very good friends with my wife.
Are you?
Yeah, me and Shaddy are like that.
Shappy.
Well, yeah, Shaddy's my nickname for her from way back.
Did you like the present me and Danny got for you, Christian?
Yeah, we've always wanted a fondue set.
Oh, good.
Wait, Danny and Dan, my underlings, were there too?
Sort of.
Yeah, but I was working. I was doing the DJ.
Nice one. Yeah, and Dan was working as our waiter.
Oh, thanks. You're going to come up with something cool for me. Yes, that's it. Not as a guest at
You
all.
were working, you still bought presents. You chumps. God, I'm glad I'm not you two saddos.
Oh, wasn't it brilliant when Robert McLennan got into that fight?
That was great.
Robert McLennan, I know that name. Hold on, he was the leader of the SDP who took over from David Owen on the 27th of August 1987. He was our guest on show 1 of the series in the Do You Remember Where You Were When X Happened feature.
Do you remember?
No, stop that!
Where you were?
Stop that! Don't try and change the subject through song. I hate it when that happens. You only met Robert McLennan 4 weeks ago. You invited him to your wedding, and not me.
Yeah, but me and Robert McLennan, we just really hit it off last month. And he's one of my best buds now. Honestly, Rich, I didn't just invite everyone in the world I've ever met apart from you. Thanks. Please don't take it personally.
I don't mind. It's good you're married. It just means more easily impressed and vulnerable, borderline mentally ill girls for me.
Do you not think that you should maybe think about settling down now, Richard? I mean, what are you, 40-odd?
I'm 39.
Yeah, so 40-ish.
39, it's different. Hey, Christ, how old are you?
29.
Then I understand your point. I mean, I think when you're maybe 19, 20, you think it's a good idea to sleep around with lots of different people, but you get to your age, you realise it's more satisfying to be in a long-term monogamous relationship with someone you have genuine feelings and love for, but then you get a bit older, into your 30s, and you realise, no, I was right first of all, but too late now, I've got kids, you know, you'd have to divide up the CD collection, better just stick out this misery until the blessed relief of death. Good luck with the marriage, though, Christ. You think no one would marry me, don't you?
I'm saying nothing.
If I wanted to be married, I could be easily.
Oh, yeah? You want to make a wager on that?
Yeah, OK, I bet you £100 I'll have found someone to marry me by the end of the show.
OK, you're on. Good luck.
But would anyone like to marry me in the audience?
It doesn't count if it's one of the easily impressed, vulnerable, borderline, mentally ill women in the audience.
Oh, come on.
Or men.
What chance does that give me? That's my only hope. Anyway, history. On the 26th of September 1580, Francis Drake, or Walter Raleigh, one of the two, completed his circumnavigation of the world. Now, I have a 2-1 in history from Oxford University, and even I can't tell you which one of those fellas is which. Which one discovered the potato? No one knows. Which one was playing bowls when the Spanish Armada arrived? Not an historian alive who is sure. Who put his cloak over the puddle for Judi Dench? Can I do a 50-50, Chris? There's no point. Walter Raleigh and Francis Drake will be the 2 names left up. It always happens. Chris Tarrant is evil.
Rich, you know the company who make this show also make Millionaire? I mean, Chris Tarrant essentially pays your wages. It's probably best not to slag him off.
Chris Tarrant's brilliant. And I'm sure that all the stuff going on in his private life at the moment's just a misunderstanding. Take him back, Ingrid. He's a good bloke.
You're making it worse?
Well, I have to say, I do really fancy his wife, though, with her little gap-toothed smile. Maybe I could marry her. She's free now, you know, she'll be loaded. Who wants to be a millionaire? Me, that's who. If you're listening, Ingrid, then...
You're just digging yourself in deeper, Herring.
Oh, OK. But anyway, no one knows what was done by Raleigh and what was done by Drake. No one. Sharp, they don't. No one knows without looking it up. and then the minute they've put the book down, they're not sure again. Which is why I'm using this history platform to make a revolutionary suggestion. Walter Raleigh, Francis Drake, from now on, why don't we just make that the same bloke in history? I mean, that would just make history a lot easier, wouldn't it? It would just make it cooler for the kids. Everyone would be able to understand it. And then if that works, I suggest they cross out all the boring stuff that happened before 1066 and replace it with Lord of the Rings. 1065, Frodo destroys the ring. 1066, Harold shot in the eye. Seamless.
That was then, this is now. And why not replace those dull Middle Ages with the books of J.K. Rowling?
The 25th of September 1764 saw the birth of Mutiny on the Bounty mutineer Fletcher Christian, the only character in history to have a surname for a first name and a first name for a surname. He's the only one. Stop trying to think of others. There aren't any others. He's memorably been portrayed on screen and stage by hunks including Errol Flynn, Clark Gable, Mel Gibson and David Essex. And yet this is how Captain Bligh genuinely described the real Christian.
His knees stand a little out, and he may be called a little bow-legged. He is subject to violent perspiration, particularly in his hand, so that he soils anything he handles.
Not such a hunk now, is he, old bow-legged, sweaty-handed Fletcher Christian, soiling stuff with his sweat? Not quite how he's been portrayed by Hollywood, though David Essex got that sweat thing spot on. I'm sure it's an accident, but it's brilliant. I can't believe this aspect of Christian has been ignored for so long. He didn't sweat through his armpits or forehead like a normal person, but through his hand. Just one of his hands. This strange one-hand-based perspiratory condition must have had some bearing on this famous mutiny. Here's what really happened.
That was then, this is now.
What really happened?
In 1787, the legendary Bounty set sail for Tahiti, carrying its load of breadfruit plants, part of insane Captain Bligh's plan to grow bread as a fruit, presumably planting bits of bread in some soil and just hoping for the best.
Make haste, men. Bring those breadfruit plants aboard. We set sail at noon.
We are working as hard as we can, Captain Bligh.
It's not good enough. Work harder.
There's no need to shout.
Wait. What's up with these breadfruit plants? They're all soiled with some kind of sticky, salty liquid. What is this stuff? These breadfruit plants are ruined.
Oh, sorry, Captain, that's my hand sweat.
Oh.
I suffer from a medical condition which means my hand sweats quite badly.
Yeah.
I did give you a note from my mum explaining I shouldn't be made to touch anything that might get contaminated with my sweaty hand sweat, but you screwed up the letter and threw it back in my face and called me a pansy.
What's your name, sailor?
Oh, how do you do? I'm Christian. Lovely to meet you.
Don't shake my hand with your weird sweaty hand. I'll catch sweaty hand-itis off you. And tell me a surname. We don't use first names on board ship.
Christian is my surname. My Christian name is Fletcher. Although, in a way, you could say my Christian name is my surname, as my surname is Christian. Just my little joke.
Yeah. Shut up, Fletcher or Christian, whatever your name is.
And as the journey went on, breadfruit/sweat tensions rose.
Right, time to chart today's course. My maps and compass are all soiled with sweat. Have you been touching these, Fletcher, Christian, or whatever your name is?
No.
Don't lie. Who else would have got hand sweat on my stuff? And my breadfruit plants aren't growing.
Look, I've been trying to tell you, Captain, that bread is made by bakers.
Shut it, you slippery-fisted buffoon.
But when the ship arrived in Tahiti, Fletcher Christian found a brave new world awaiting him.
Oh, Fletcher, you are so handsome.
But I am bow-legged.
Oh, in Tahiti, bow legs indicate strength.
And my Christian name is a surname and vice versa.
But all Tahitian names are stupid too.
And, oh, look, I've got an excessively sweaty hand, which soils everything it touches.
Oh, this is good news. Due to a strange genetic quirk, Tahitian women's breasts have no sweat glands in them and are consequently too dry.
Oh.
You can use your sweaty hand to moisten my bosoms.
Oh.
And then when you're done with me, you can moisten the bosoms of every woman on the island.
With my sweat?
Or with any other unguent that comes to hand.
Oh, Brill, get in! Let's get married!
After 5 months of sweaty fondling, the Bounty went back to sea and tempers started to fray.
Christian, whoever you are, that's the third telescope that's slipped out of your hands on this voyage. Drippy fingers.
No, that's enough. I've had enough of you mocking my hand.
Oh.
It's discrimination. I am disabled and I could have equal opportunities on you, if it existed. Yes, I may have one sweaty hand.
And bow legs.
Yeah.
And a back-to-front name.
Look, you're making this worse.
Eh?
But judge a man not by how moist and soiling his hand may be, but by his actions and his deeds. Give me that sword, sailor. Oh, damn this sweaty hand. It's time for a mutiny. Are you with me, men?
Not really, no.
No, the captain's right. The whole sweaty thing's a bit gross.
I really like Captain Bligh. He's harsh, but fair.
Yeah.
Look, I tell you what, if you mutiny with me, you can come back to Tahiti and help me massage unguents into the native girls' bazoomas.
He makes a good case.
Mutiny! 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 I'll get back to civilization, Fletcher. I mean, whatever. And I will tell everyone about your sweaty hand, and you'll go down in history as naught but a sweat-handed nincompoop.
No, I won't. No one will remember that. They'll just remember that you were a div and then name a chocolate bar after your ship. So check on, Captain Bligh, you amateur.
Stop shaking hands, sweating on me.
And that's what really happened. Even a bow-legged, sweat-handed mutineer with a surname for a Christian name and a Christian name for a surname could find someone to marry him. Why am I still on the shelf?
Well, maybe you should widen your horizons a bit. Gay marriage is illegal now, you know.
I'm not so desperate to get married that I would marry a man, Emma. Honestly, the blokes who do that are just giving up too easy. You'll find a nice girl if you're prepared to wait, Elton, but now it's time for a song, if Christian's wife will let him sing one.
She says it's okay as long as I'm home by 2 to mow the lawn.
Bad luck, Marido. Under the thumb. Got to do what the wife says now, haven't you, mister? No freedom for you, Chain. Doing the washing up, doing the garden. Oh, I feel sorry for you, Marido. I'm so alone. Please welcome, it's Felcher Christian himself, Christian Riley and Guillotine.
On the 25th of September 1897, the first British bus service began running, and this opened us up to a whole new world of collective experience. Well, I chanced upon this fella on the bus the other day, and he looked at me and grinned, and I just didn't know what to say. And he told me in a voice too loud of all the things he had to do. And right there and then, everybody on the bus knew. He was a man with learning difficulties. He was a man with learning difficulties. He was a perfectly pleasant kind of guy, but if you asked you where you lived, you'd end up having to lie, because something about it made you feel uncomfortable. He looked at my guitar case and said, "Have you got a guitar?" And under different circumstances, I might have said, "No, it's a machine gun, ha ha." But I kept my face in neutral and said, "Yeah, you're right, it's a guitar." And everybody stared straight ahead because they'd cottoned on. He was a man with learning difficulties. He was a man with learning difficulties. And nobody knew his full story. Was he born like that, or was it a head injury? And if you asked him, he probably wouldn't understand the question. When he got off the bus at the next stop, we felt this weird mix of guilty for feeling relief, but mostly relief. And then another chap sat down directly after that. He looked at me and grinned, and I grinned right back. And everybody who caught his eye grinned away at him too, because right there and then, everybody on the bus knew he was a man with a facial deformity. He was a man with a facial deformity, and nobody knew what to do. We couldn't look away, but then stare and be rude. This is the last time that I visit Wales.
Christian Riley and Guillotine there, needlessly offending several groups of people. On the 27th of September 1998, Google was established by Larry Page and Sergey Brin in a garage in California when the friendless, girlfriendless nerds got together to help catalogue the exciting new information superhighway.
Well, gosh, Sergei, this new internet thing is so confusing. Millions upon millions of pages about either Star Trek or child pornography and nothing else.
Yeah, it's an amazing invention.
But how can I be sure that when I'm surfing for something about Star Trek, I won't accidentally go to a page with child pornography on it? That would be, annoying.
Yeah, it is very easy to accidentally go to those child pornography sites. As I'm sure many celebrities will discover in the future.
And not all of them can just claim they were researching a book that then never comes out. And conversely, it would be terribly upsetting for some pervert on the hunt for child pornography to accidentally find himself looking at blueprints for the Delta Flyer from Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah, that could really put you off your stroke.
I know. Why don't we invent a kind of search engine that will be able to tell the difference between Star Trek and child pornography, ensuring there will never be a Star Trek/child pornography mix-up again?
Yeah, and maybe if one day there are sites that aren't about Star Trek or child pornography, it will be able to identify those as well.
Right, well, I hardly think that's likely. Sergei, the internet will forever remain the province of the nerd and the nods.
No, Larry, I can foresee a day when it won't be just Star Trek and child pornography, a time when people will also be interested in looking up, say, Babylon 5 and pornography featuring adults.
That will never happen.
And maybe there'll be online shops where people can buy Star Trek and Babylon 5 merchandise and more pornography and maybe even order a pizza.
Pizza? On the internet? Now I know you're dreaming, Sergei. Our new invention, Google,
nice one,
thank you, will sort the Star Trek from the child pornography, and that's all it will ever do. I estimate we can make upwards of $57 for our work.
Whoa there, Larry, hold your horses. How the hell do we set up an internet search engine?
That's a good question. I'll just ask Jeeves.
It's time for a new feature on the show now entitled What Would Happen If What Happened Then Had Actually Happened Now Instead of Then? On 28th of September 1066, William the Conqueror landed at Pevensey in Sussex with his forces. But this week I'll be asking, what would happen if William the Conqueror landed in England now instead of in 1066? For a start, he'd probably arrive on the Eurostar, so he'd be annoyed at the cramped seats and the way too expensive tickets. And then he'd have to face passport control, who might be a bit suspicious.
Hello, sir. Welcome to England. Name?
William the Conqueror.
The Conqueror? Of what?
Oh, nothing. Yeah, I just like conkers, that's all. I'm not really planning to conquer England, if that's what you're thinking.
And are you travelling with a large group today, sir?
Not that large, no, about 7,000 men and 3,000 horses.
Stag party?
Yeah, something like that. It's certainly not a massive invasion force.
And the purpose of your visit to England, is it pleasure or business, sir?
Bit of both, hopefully.
And are you carrying any sharp objects?
Just got an arrow, that's all.
You could have someone's eye out with that, sir.
I could have someone's eye out
Yes,
with that,
you could. So what are you doing here? Are you,
I'm here to research a book.
What, like Pete Townsend?
No, not like... It's called the Doomsday Book.
Oh, sounds a bit sinister.
No, not really. It's just like a guide to England. It's sort of a bit like Bill Bryson crossed with the Da Vinci Code. We're really nice blokes, us Normans. Look, we brought a load of wool with us to knit a tapestry.
Tapestry.
That's the kind of blokes we are. Not threatening, mainly knitting is what we're mainly interested in.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah. So can we come through? Do you want to taste my baby milk to prove it's not poisoned?
No, that's just weird. Look, you seem all right. You're a bit French, but that's not illegal. Shame.
Yeah, no.
And you haven't got beards or rucksacks or dark skin, which is all we've been told to look for. So, go on, in you go, but don't let me catch you starting any battles or trying to bring back over 2 litres of spirits.
No way, of course not. Come on, boys, let's all go to Hastings.
Oh, I won't bother with Hastings. It's rubbish. The only thing that's ever happened there was the Battle of Hastings, where William the Conqueror...
Yeah, well, that's kind of the problem with this concept, where it falls down. The present really wouldn't exist without the past. It's all, if we change the past, the present. Time travel doesn't really work at all. Even if you're the bloke from Quantum Leap and you jump into other people's bodies without them asking, which, let's face it, it's a bit perverted. Now time for a woman who needs no introduction because you can hear her mawkish squawks coming from miles around. Yes, it's time for Return of the Mawk. Return of the Mac. TV's Emma Kennedy.
Hello, Rich. Lovely to be here as ever.
So, nearly at the end of the series and still struggling to find you a format.
Yes.
Personally, I think the best format for you might be a coffin with you in it dead.
Right.
With a stake through your heart, just to make sure.
Maybe in series 3.
Well, hopefully.
But for now, I'm returning to that crowd-pleasing favourite, births, deaths and marriages.
Oh, I could never have enough of that.
But there's a twist, because this week it's stupid name, births, deaths and marriages.
Stupid name,
Stupid
births,
name,
deaths and marriages, you
yes.
say. How intriguing. That's... Must be how you got on TV with ideas like that.
It's time to find out which people with stupid names got bred, dead and wed. With TV's Emma Kennedy.
Hello. I'm TV's Emma Kennedy, and welcome to TV's Emma Kennedy's Stupid Name, Births, Deaths and Marriages. It's time to discover who got germinated, terminated and sperminated this week in history. And praise be to the arse-spanking midwives, because 28th September 1967 saw the birth of Frank Zappa's eldest daughter, who we cruelly christened Moon Unit Zappa. She got off lightly, as her siblings were called Dweezil Zappa, Amit Zappa, and Diva Muffin Zappa. Now, those are proper stupid names for kids. Are you listening, Paula Yates? Probably not. Thinking about it. But scarcely is the ink dry on our birth certificates before our name is carved upon our gravestones. Here's who started pushing up the daisies this week in history. Tostig Godwinson, the Earl of Northumbria, which was a useless place to be an Earl of, hence his nickname, Tostig of the Dump. But let the dead bury their dead, for the rest of us have a livin' and a lovin' to do. And as no funny name people got married this week in history, let us celebrate the 2006 wedding of Christian Riley and his beautiful bride, Shaggy.
It's Shappy.
No, Shaggy was our nickname for her at school. Because she looked like the Scooby-Doo character, not for any other reason. I'm not making this any better, move on. But there is one person with a ridiculous name who we will never be celebrating in the marriage part of this format. Richard Herring. That's his real name. What a wazzock.
There's still plenty of time for me to become betrothed, Emma. Funnily enough, I reckon this is true. I could have married Moon Unit Zappa. I met her in Montreal in 1997. I interviewed her for a TV show. She was a really brilliant woman, really funny, really clever. Afterwards, she made a point of giving me her phone number, and when I look back at the interviews, I can see she obviously fancied me, but somehow at the time I had no idea. How could I have been such a fool, Emma? If I'd only realised, and I could have gone out with Moon Unit Zappa, I could have married her. That'd have shown Christian. It's too late. She's married herself now with a baby called Mathilda Plum.
Mathilda?
Yeah, they're obviously keeping the stupid name thing in the family. I could have had a ridiculously named child with a ridiculously named woman and given her my own ridiculous surname. Why was I such a blind idiot?
That is sad, Rich, but you are an idiot. And like all idiots are doomed to die sad and alone. And it's a shame that you didn't have sex with Moon Unit Zappa, because if you had done, you would have had a moon on your stick. Do you get it? It's like what you used to say on the TV programme you're on 10 years ago. Aha! Aha ha ha!
No, I wish we'd stop doing this, because that's over. It's embarrassing me, all right? I don't want to bring it up.
Yeah.
That stuff is in the past. I've moved on.
Yeah.
I'm doing something different now.
Scarcely.
It's a bit
and nothing
different.
you have ever done subsequently is as good as that moon on a stick thing.
I've done
And when
loads
you
of talking.
die,
Oh,
that
that's
is all
good.
that will be written on your gravestone, along with the words, "No, it was his mate who wrote Jerry Springer the Opera, not him."
Wait a minute, Emma. I almost forgot. You're a woman, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
And you are unmarried, a spinster, if you will.
Well, I have been described as the Mork spinster by some, even though I am not mawkish.
Do you ever wonder if the antagonism and the verbal sparring that goes on between us is actually happening because we secretly love each other?
No, I do it because I hate you. Do you secretly love me?
No. But if I get engaged to someone in the next 3 minutes, I win £100 off of Christian. I'll give you £50 if you say you'll marry me.
£50? I'm on TV. That kind of money might excite a radio personality like you or Jonathan Ross. But I don't prostitute myself so cheaply.
£60?
You're on.
Yeah. Bad luck, Christian. I'm engaged to be married. You owe me £100.
Congratulations, Rich. I will give you the money the second you're married.
What?
It's the last show next week. I think they should get married on air. What do you think, audience?
No. We can't take the words of these vulnerable, borderline, mentally ill idiots.
The public have spoken, Rich.
There's literally no way out of this, I can see. Tune in next week to witness the legally binding wedding of me and TV's Emma Kennedy. It promises to be the wedding of the year. This should whip up some media interest, like when Kylie married Jason on Neighbours. More probably about as much media interest as when Mrs. Mangle married John Worthington.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Good afternoon, listeners. Thank you very much.
That was Then, This Is Now. It was written and performed by Richard Herring, TV's Emma Kennedy, Danny Robbins and Dan Tetzel. So I was hardly in it this week, was I? The music and stuff was done by Christian Riley and Guillotine, who were Damien Caldwell, Martin Kane and Charlie Round Turner. It was produced by Anthony Elizabeth and was a Celador production for BBC Radio 2.
Welcome, Mr. Richard Herring!
Thank you. Hello, and welcome to the last in the current series of Twatuttin. Don't be sad, audience. There might be some more at some point. Who knows? Anything might happen. To be honest, I'm amazed we got to do this many. Count your blessings. And for a show that celebrates the things that happened this week in history, this is a momentous occasion, because the 2nd of October 2004 saw the first ever broadcast of That Was Then, This Is Now. That's right, we're 2 years old this week. Happy birthday to us all!
Happy birthday to you.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you.
It's nice, isn't it?
Happy birthday to
Twatuttin!
Happy birthday to you.
And now the audience is lining up to give the show the bumps.
Whoa!
Ow, that's my back!
What a celebration. We're handing round a piece of chocolate cake to everyone now. And that was sent in by our special guest from show 2 of the series, Dr. Miriam Dalgleish, the slightly strange, fecally obsessed coprolite analyst. Yeah, well, never accept cake from strangers, you idiots. Did your parents teach you nothing? Of course, what all this means is that we've already covered this week in history once before, and so we've had to, deliberately put some filling into the show, like having the audience sing Happy Birthday. It used up a couple of minutes. It was good. We did specifically tell Radio 2 that if we were to get another series, then obviously it would have to be at a different time of year, so we'd have new material to work with. But did they listen? No. Everyone at Radio 2 is an idiot. Especially the controller. Though we'd love to do another series, if you're interested, if you'll have us back. Luckily, we have the perfect cover for our paucity of ideas. Will you please welcome our house band, Christian Riley and Enigma Machine.
That was then and this is now. Bites in the hand that feeds. Since October the 2nd, 2004 AD.
Big week for you, eh, Rich?
How do you mean?
Well, you must remember from last week, you're marrying TV's Emma Kennedy on today's show.
I don't think so, Christ. That was just a joke. I mean, at the end of episode 3, we destroyed the moon. And then no reference was ever made to that again. So I think we just wiped the slate clean, we start again. That's the way the show works.
You can't say that, because you made a promise to TV's Emma Kennedy, and as her friend and legal guardian, I expect you to follow it through, or you will be disrespecting her honour.
Yeah, and what are you going to do about it? Is that a gun, Christian?
Yes, and I hope I don't have to use it.
Well, I think I'd rather be shot than have to marry that mawkish, mork-faced, pre-mork-morkarina. Prima ballerina, it's not very good.
I am here, you know.
Oh, nice dress. Special occasion.
Yes, we're getting married.
Look, we can't get married because, I forgot to book a vicar, so check on.
I can marry you, Rich.
What?
Yeah, magistrates, captains of ships, leaders of rock bands, they all have the power to conduct a marriage. As long as it happens on a stage on which I am performing, the contract is legally binding. And you better marry her, because all the band are very heavily armed.
I don't understand, Emma. Why do you want to marry me? You hate me.
Hate you, Rich? No. I love you, Richard Keith Herring, with all my heart. And you know that you love me too.
I don't. I really don't love you. I hate you. And in a bride, I'm really looking for someone less mawkish and with a nicer personality and bigger tits. I'm honest.
Look how you're flirting.
It's not flirting. You make me feel physically sick. I just look at you. I've been slightly sick in the back of my throat just looking at your face fully clothed, so I don't think I can marry you.
Such a tease.
It's not teasing. You make me want to vomit. I mean, that's not a good start to any wedding, is it?
You so want me. Anyway, Rich, I'll see you at the end of the show. Yeah?
Shut up. Let's take a look at some history. On 2nd of October 1452, King Richard III was born. He's best known today for being Cockney rhyming slang for a piece of poo. But he also did loads of cool stuff, I expect. He got a play written about him by William Shakespeare, no less. Shakespeare, though, only told part of the story of old Turdy Feature's final moments. Here is what really happened.
That was then, this is now.
What really happened?
A horse! A horse! My kingdom for a horse!
What did you say?
The horse. A horse. My kingdom for a horse.
I've got a horse. So you're saying you'll give me your kingdom if I give you this horse?
Yes, please give it now.
Yeah, it sounds like a suspiciously good deal. What's the catch?
There's no catch. I'm just so desperate to escape this battlefield, I'm prepared to give up my kingdom for a means of escape. Come on, give it to me.
No, what is this? Candid oil painting?
No.
Where's the artist? Up a tree, in the hedge?
No.
Getting all this straw, making me look like a right pranny, I bet. Who put you up to this, eh? Was it Ed Frick?
Yeah, no, it's not candid oil painting. I just really need a horse, and you can have my kingdom if you give it to me, quickly.
No, it'll turn out you're the king of some rubbish kingdom like Liechtenstein or the Isle of Wight, or maybe like a fantastical fairy kingdom where you like rule over goblins, fairy folk, gonks.
No, I'm King Richard III, King of England. It's
Get
a good
out of
No,
it.
it's a good kingdom, I am.
All right, where's your hunchback?
I don't have a hunchback.
Everyone knows King Richard III had a hunchback.
I don't. That's an apocryphal tale made up by my enemies to make me appear more evil. You know, like the one about Edward II having his stomach pumped and then finding 10 different people's...
No. That's true. My granddad's best friend's mate worked at the hospital next to the one they did that in.
Whatever. I am not evil like they say. I'm a really good bloke. I can't have killed more than 2 princes in my whole life. And I just desperately need a horse.
So you'll give me all England and all the stuff in it, including all the other horses, if I give you my horse?
Yes.
Do you promise?
Yes, I give you my word as king.
Right, it's a deal. There you go.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I lost the battle, so I don't own the kingdom anymore. I totally tricked you, you idiot, and got your horse for free. Gullible-o. Check on, you am a twat. Giddy up, girl. Ha-ha, I am evil after all.
Well, watch out for that bridge.
Oh, sugar. Oh, my head. Oh, I die.
Yeah.
And that's what really happened.
That was then, this is now. Better than Shakespeare at history and tragedy. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
First week of October was a momentous week for cartoons. The 2nd of October 1895 saw the first appearance of a cartoon strip in a newspaper. 55 years later to the day was the first appearance of bobble-headed Morkfest Peanuts.
Oh, I love Charlie Brown.
Yeah, and no surprise, it is mawkish. How can anyone like Peanuts? It's the only cartoon in the world that makes Mickey Mouse look amusing. Traditionally, strip cartoons have 3 setup boxes, followed by a final box with a joke in it. But Peanuts bucks this trend to go for 4 jokeless setup boxes and then nothing else. Occasionally a little arrow at the bottom pointing to the second page as if there'll be a joke on there. No, just 4 more boxes, no joke. What the hell did anyone see in this cartoon? Oh, look, the bird flies upside down. Brilliant, every week. More cartoon unfunniness happened this week as well, just last year, when Danish newspapers printed their controversial cartoons supposedly depicting the Prophet Muhammad. Look, he's got a bomb in his hat. Brilliant. Not only deeply offensive to all the world's Muslims, but also to everyone else in the world who has a sense of humour. But we're joined by one of the rubbish cartoonists who caused this furore. Will you please welcome Lars Gudrunsen?
Hello.
Hello, Lars.
Hello.
My first question to you, Lars, is what the hell were you thinking? You must have known you'd upset the Muslims. Have you been watching the news over the last 5 years at all?
Well, at the time, we were thinking we were making an important stand for free speech, but a year of living in hiding, fearing for my life, has made me slightly reconsider the wisdom of offending all the world's Muslims.
But you have at least come here to try and heal the rift between Denmark and the Islamic world.
That is right, through healing cartoons that bring together Christians and Muslims. For instance, this one here.
Right, yes, this is two men in T-shirts, different T-shirts. One's got Islam written on it, the other one's got the West written on it.
They symbolise Islam and the West.
Yeah, that is very clever. I like what you've done. And they've got their arms round each other.
Showing that they are friends.
Good. And they're pointing and laughing at a big fat man under a tree, and he's got written on his stomach, "I am Buddha, and I am fat and lazy and probably gay."
Yes, I am using my cartoons to unite Christianity and Islam.
In mutual hatred of the Buddhists.
Oh, yeah.
Have you not learned anything?
I've learned a lot. Unlike last year, I really researched this cartoon, and in my studies, I discovered that Buddhists are a non-violent religion. There's gonna be no repercussions. What are they gonna do, meditate at me?
I don't think that really is the lesson from you. I mean, this cartoon isn't even remotely funny.
All right, okay, try this one here.
Okay. Right, so it's a man in a suit saying, "I am the Dalai Lama."
Yeah, he's symbolising...
Yeah, it's all right,
okay,
I've got that,
okay,
thanks,
okay.
yeah. And he's got a little squiggly lines coming out from his armpit saying stink.
I am implying he smells.
Yeah, not so much implying as sort of saying. That he's, and there's a speech bubble coming out of his mouth saying, "I'm a big baldy, and all the stuff I think is wrong, whatever it is, I can't really be bothered to find out."
Yeah. I have made him look like an idiot. Once again, no repercussions. He's another Buddhist, a pacifist idiot. Come on, orange robies, bring it on. What is this? This is the sound of one hand making a rude gesture.
So all you've learnt from this terrible experience, people died and stuff, is to be more careful which religious groups you insult.
Yeah, and the Buddhists are best because they really believe in this stuff. Not like, Christians who claim to be pacifists and talk about turning the other cheek, but actually getting a right flap if you ever go with them. They're hypocritical fools.
Shut up, you're doing it again.
No, I
Stop
don't care. It's true, but Buddhists, they see the thing through properly, which is why you can take the piece out of them and they don't do nothing, the pussies.
I apologise sincerely to any Buddhist listeners for these offensive remarks, but at least it shows the person who rang up the BBC after our first show to say this.
I thought some of the jokes on today's programme were very offensive to the royal family. I would like the BBC to expand its satire into other areas. I doubt we would ever hear, for example, someone making a joke about the Dalai Lama.
Well, there you go, anonymous complainer. You were wrong. And if there's anyone you would rather see us satirise than the people we choose, let's take requests. Do let us know. We'll do our best to make your wish come true. It's like a Jim will fix it of hate. I'm not going to have a go at the Muslims, though. I might be an atheist. I'm not stupid.
I don't see why religious people fight. I think they've all got it right.
Yeah, I agree with you, Emma. All religions are right when they say that all the other religions are wrong. It's so close there to being 100%.
I believe that when you die, whatever you believe in will come true.
Oh, Emma, that is such a nice philosophy for maybe a baby to have, or a baby animal, maybe a baby mouse. If a baby mouse had come in and said that, I think that was a really clever thing to have come up. But it wouldn't, when you think it through, it wouldn't work in any way, would it, that as an idea?
Well, you say that, but, if you're a Christian, you go to Christian heaven.
Yeah, I understand.
If you're a Jew, you go to Jewish heaven. If you're a Muslim,
where'd you
go
then?
to,
where?
Whatever it is they think that happens,
Yeah,
and
well,
so
I
on.
see, I get that, Emma, yeah.
That's
But
how it works.
see, it doesn't really work, does it? Because what I believe is when I die, I'll go to Richard Herring heaven, right? Where I am king of the universe,
Right.
and where the souls of all the religious people who have ever lived are kept in a muddy pit. And every hour on the hour, I wee on them. And my wee is made out of acid and is on fire. So there couldn't be both a Christian heaven, where Christians have a nice time, sit on clouds and all that guff, if what I believe also comes true, as all the Christians will be required for my fiery acid wee pit.
Well, all right, that's what you think. Maybe you'll go to a place where you believe that is happening, but in fact the religious people you wee on, they'll just be cyborg clones. So the souls of all the religious people can go wherever they want to.
Well, no, Emma, because I don't believe that I be fire acid weeing on cyborg clones. I believe I'll be fire acid weeing on the actual souls of all the religious people. So
Right,
it doesn't work.
okay,
Your thing doesn't
yes.
work. What you're
well,
saying.
Well, that's your opinion.
Right, no, it's just I've just disproved your theory can't work. It's
No,
not an opinion.
that's your opinion.
It's rubbish what you're saying.
I can't agree
It's
with
not
you
an
on that because
opinion.
I'm a deeply spiritual person and find everything you're saying pretty much offensive to the core of my being.
Well, it's probably a bad idea for us to get married then.
No.
So we probably can't.
No, you're not getting out of it. We're still getting married, and I will spend the rest of your life trying to convert you to my beliefs. You're looking down a long, dark tunnel, Herring, and it's the rest of your life.
It is your wifely duty, that is.
It is, yes, it is.
That's what marriage is all about, Christian. So now it's time for a song. Please welcome Christian Riley and Enigma Machine.
This song's about Dafydd ap Gruffudd, who was the last native Prince of Wales. He talked his elder brother Llewellyn, who was prince at the time, into an unwinnable war against England. Llewellyn was killed in battle. Dafydd went on the run till he was caught and executed for treason on the 3rd of October, 1283. That was the end of independent Wales. Dafydd could quite easily be a footnote in history, but hopefully this song will put him right back on the map for what he's most famous for.
You woke up in the morning in the mountains of Gwynedd. You've been running round and hiding out since the Norman conquest. When the English army catches up with you, don't feel sad, don't feel blue. Someday we'll sing a song for you. 'Cause you were the first guy who was hung and drawn and quartered. You lost the Welsh their freedom, but you won a special kind of race. Well, if you had your time again, would you take it all back? Would you talk your elder brother into another rash attack? We'll never know because the dead can't speak, especially when their body parts are distributed around Shrewsbury. You'll always be to me the first guy who was hung and drawn and quartered. Amnesty International, 700 years too late. Yeah, you're the first guy who was hung and drawn and quartered. And unlike your arms, they can't take that away from. Unlike your legs, they can't take that away from. Unlike your intestines, they can't take that away from you. Grizzly End!
Christian Riley and Enigma Machine. On the 1st of October 1958, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA as it's more commonly known, was created. It replaced the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. But why did the Americans feel the need to make this change? Let's find out.
Hello, welcome to the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. Nice to get some of you fellas down from Washington for a change. What brings you here?
Well, we've come to change your name.
To the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
Why? What's wrong with the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics?
We just think National Aeronautics and Space Administration's better.
Got a bit of ring to it.
Look, we've been the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics since 1913. Why change it now?
Look, for goodness sake, isn't it obvious? The acronym of the existing name is NACA. We're a laughingstock around the world.
No, what's wrong with NACA? It's a good acronym.
No, it's not. Don't you know what it means? It's a euphemism for, for love dumplings.
What are you talking about?
You know, man eggs, family jewels, nutmegs, frickin' frack, the McSquirter twins.
I don't understand.
You know, the gonk-faced Mother Teresa sisters. Sleeping in their hairy hammock. The contents of the furry holdall. Mr. Happy's two nutty friends, the one-eyed monster's beanbag.
I'm really not following you.
Look, for crying out loud, in half the English-speaking world, NACA refers to a gentleman's testicle.
Oh, right, no, I know that. That's why we called it that. Because we remain down below when the little spaceman gets shot into orbit. That's why it's a brilliant name.
Well, we're changing it to NASA, and there's an end on it.
Well, what are we going to do with all these National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics badges I've had made?
Tough luck, pal. They're knackered.
That was then, this is now, the official record holder for the most euphemisms for Cupid's prunes and the broadcast on Radio 2.
So on the 4th of October 1535, the first ever complete English language Bible was printed, translated by William Tyndale and Miles Coverdale. Up to that point, it had always been in Latin, which, as anyone who studied it at school will know, is rock hard. But did this new accessible translation throw up any surprises?
Here you go, Bishop, hot off the press, the first ever complete English language Bible.
Hope you like it. It took ages.
Latin is solid to translate.
Thank you, William. Thank you, Miles. You've done this. Must have taken you ages. It's a wonderful achievement. Let me have a look. Oh, it looks so good. Nice font.
Comic Sans Serif.
Yeah. Good. Hold on. What's this? The story of Jesus turning loaves into fishes. It looks a bit different. You've got him turning them into pies?
Well, you said translated to English. Pies are traditionally English, aren't they?
And here again, and lo, Jesus turned the water into gravy.
Yeah, but you can't have the pies without the gravy.
Yeah, that would be weird. We're English. We love gravy.
Look, what else have you changed?
Oh, you know, just a few small details, like where Jesus was born.
Where is he born?
Romford.
Harris, you can't just go changing the Bible willy-nilly. It's a sacred text.
But you said translated into English. We were just trying to make it more relevant.
Yeah, Bish, come on, give the English people what they want. I mean, they don't want a crucifixion.
They don't?
No, it's way too graphic. No, in our version, Jesus gets a dicky tum for meeting spicy food, and he spends 3 days on the toilet.
That's way more English.
Right, enough. In the name of the Lord...
Gary.
What?
Gary Almighty, that's the name of the Lord.
In our version.
In English.
I know. What have you done to the Virgin Mary?
Oh, she's just Mary now.
Well, you know, she is from Romford. We have to be realistic.
I will see you burned for this.
Listen, Bishop, what's all this fuss about? All we tried to do was create a truly English publication that would be read by the man on the street.
Well, I don't like it.
You better not look at page 3, then.
Hey, page 3... Jesus Christ!
That's right, yeah.
You can see us McSquirter twins. Well, that's the end of the series. I hope you enjoyed it. Knowing the Radio 2 powers that be, we'll probably be back in a couple of years' time to take another wry look at the historical events of the first week of October. So, write that in your diaries now.
Hold on a minute, Richard Herring. I think you're forgetting something.
Don't think I am. I don't want to do... You can't force me. I don't want to do this, and I can't. I haven't even got a best man.
I will be your best man.
You... Lars, I've only just met you. I don't even like you. I think I've got better friends than you.
You just want to give me the ring.
Yeah, OK.
Yeah.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today in this chapel of rock and roll to unite this man and woman in holy matrimony. Marriage is an honourable institution and is not to be entered into lightly or foolishly.
Or mawkishly.
I'm not mawkish.
But earnestly and with mutual respect.
Oh, well, that pretty much puts the kibosh on this, then.
Now, if anybody here present knows of any reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold thy peace.
Oh, come on, someone always interrupts in a... This can't be the only comedy show where no one... Thank God.
Let me through there. Come on, I must
Who's
speak.
that? Who's that?
It's me, Prince Philip.
Who?
Prince Philip.
Oh, right, you're the one married to that bird called Prince Michael.
No, Prince Philip, the consort of the Queen.
Ah, right, yeah, you're the one who remarked to a British student in Papua New Guinea, you managed not to get eaten then.
Yes, oh, that was funny. I was implying that all native islanders are cannibals.
Listen, what do you want?
Ah, yes. Well, I command that this sham of a wedding be halted immediately. It is an affront to God, nature, and to love itself.
Oh, Prince Philip, after all the things I said, I never thought you, of all people, would come through for me.
Hold on, Prince Philip. You're commanding that, are you? But Richard established in episode 1 of this series that you don't have the power to do anything.
Ah, yes. He did, didn't he? What a shame.
No.
Well, it looks like he'll have to go ahead.
You can do...
Hoist with your own petard, you stupid, fat, little commoner. I have had my revenge.
Okay, it's time for the vows. Do you, Emma Morchetta Kennedy...
Wait, your middle name's Morchetta?
I know, it's a coincidence, but I'm still not mawkish.
Take Richard Keith Herring to be your lawful wedded husband?
Yes. Yes, 1,000 times yes.
And do you, Richard Keith Herring, take Emma to be your lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forth, forsaking all others in sickness and in health, as long as you both shall live?
Do I have to hold her?
Yes, and have her.
No. There must be some way out of this. Please, God, whichever one of you's the real one, I know I've never been what you'd call a very religious person, but if you saved me from the Bride of Morkenstein, I promise to believe in you forevermore.
Stop stalling and say you do.
Hold it right there.
Who are you?
I am the Dalai Lama. And I was very offended by the comments made earlier in his program about my religion. Me and the other Buddhists are fed up of everyone having a go at us and think he will just sit back and take it and meditate and stuff, just because pacifism is at the centre of our beliefs.
Yeah, bad luck, but what can you do about it, Piso?
Well, we've had enough. This is payback time. No more Mr. Nice Buddha.
Look out, he's got an enormous bomb in his head. And yet if I put that in a cartoon, people would say it was offensive and unrealistic.
And it's going to explode in 30 seconds.
Oh, thank God. Nice one, Buddha. Thanks for that. Well, at least we've sorted out which of the gods is real, so we can all believe in that one now.
So do you take Emma to be your wife?
It's only till death do us part, right? Yeah. Yeah, why not? What's the problem?
Well, we could try and escape.
No. Anyway, you have to honour and obey me now. We're married. You need to read the credits.
That was Then, This Is Now. It was written and performed by Richard Herring, Danny Bings, Dan Tetzel and me, TV's Emma Kennedy Herring. Music was provided by Christian Riley and Enigma Machine, who were Damien Caldwell, Martin Kane and Charlie Round Turner. It was produced by Il Duce Lisansti and was a Celador production for BBC Radio 2. Woo!
3, 2, 1...
Hold on, we're still alive. We're all covered in glitter and confetti and stuff. What gives?
Well, I am a Buddhist. I couldn't hurt anyone. It was a bomb of love. Oh. But let that be a warning to you. Next time, I'm putting some nails in it.
So bad luck. You're not dead, Rich, which means we're still married.
Oh, that is just so typical of my luck.
Where should we go for a honeymoon?
I don't know, how about the Orkney Islands?
The Morkshire Dales?
Centre Morks.
Morecambe. Good one. Can I recommend Denmark?
Well done, Lars. That was almost funny, which is an achievement for you. Let us stop this now. We've been self-indulgent enough, I think, for 1 year. It's time to let Roland Rivron have a go. Goodbye, everyone. See you in October 2008.